The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
NBC's Mike Florio suggests Aaron Glenn could be fired and be a one-and-done coach. We'll talk about that. Plus, the Jets have extended tight end Jeremy Ruckert. That is some breaking news. Nick Shine will join us. It's the Jake Asman Show, live on a Wednesday. Let's hit it and get it started.
Time to lose some games, bitches. You guys should be pros at this. They don't give out trophies for 4 or 5 wins.
A new chapter for the Jets has started. Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji are tasked with shaping the future of this franchise. Will they be the ones to finally get it right? We will be here for every step of the journey on the Jake Asman Show, breaking down all the storylines, every game, and everything in between. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chats, baby. Cut the line. The Jake Asman Show starts right now.
Here we go, here on a Wednesday. Hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Again, join the Patreon if you want access to our private Discord. If you sign up for the year, you not only save 15% on the total cost, but you also get 10 weekly raffle tickets automatically applied. Big shout out to Welcome to Something, Matt L. and the Gabagool for being our most recent Patreon subscribers. Let's say hello to our good friend Nick Shine, who joins us now. Nick, we certainly have a ton of topics to dive into, including some breaking news, which happened a lot at the beginning of the year when you would join on Wednesdays. But we have a contract extension. The Jets, for the second week in a row, are extending one of their own. According to Jeremy Fowler, they reached a contract extension with tight end Jeremy Ruckert, 2 years for $10 million with a max of $5.5 million per year. We'll see what the actual details of the deal are. But Nick, my initial read was this: very similar to the Josh Myers contract, essentially a 1-year deal for a decent depth piece, and it does still keep the door open for the Jets to upgrade through the draft or free agency. So another extension for a guy they clearly like, who's bought into Aaron Glenn's message, and he's, of course, a Long Island native, so cool story to keep the hometown Jet with his hometown team. What was your initial reaction to this news?
The first thing I did was Google what's the average salary for a backup tight end in the NFL, and it seems to be between $2 and $7 million, so it falls right in the middle. We know that pass catching is not his strength. We know that Taylor's going to get the majority of the targets. You know, his career has been 1 catch, 16 catches, 18, and now 20, with 163 yards being his biggest contribution so far, with the 20 catches this year and his first touchdown. So not great numbers in the passing attack. Yes, we can contribute that to the quarterback play that we've had here as well throughout his career. But I think primarily he's going to be utilized as a blocker, special teamer, backup guy. The Jets have a lot of guys that they signed last year to 1-year deals, and they had a lot of guys with expiring contracts. So you don't want to live completely in free agency, Jake. So it's good. You saw it last week with Myers. Now you see Ruckert. It's good to get some of these guys locked up on short-term deals. The old Bill Parcells adage, hold the fort, guys, until you can draft long-term replacements and hopefully upgrades.
Yeah, look, Ruckert is obviously not a great offensive player. I do think his blocking has improved this year. I know Joe Blewett noted that in one of his tweets this morning, and we've even seen it in some of the film review segments we've done with Joe. And look, we know the Jets obviously have a lot of holes, but you feel like with tight end, with Taylor, you have a solid starting tight end. I think Ruckert could be a competent backup. Maybe it's a slight overpay, but I think you want to reward a guy who's been a good soldier, who's bought in, who said the right things. I think it's, about sending the right message to the locker room as well. So I'm not going to be that, upset or that pro in this type of move. I think it makes sense. What I do like, again, is Darren Muji's done the opposite of what Joe Douglas would do. He's been proactive with extensions, right? Like, imagine if the Jets took a proactive approach with JFM, if they took a proactive approach with Bryce Huff, right? Like, this was a big issue for the previous regime. They would wait too long to do things. And the one thing the Jets have done this year, they pivoted on the fly when they completely misevaluated their own roster and started 0-7. They made the deals at the deadline. They've also, really going back to the summer with fixing the kicking situation with Falk. They knew that needed to be done. They added Phillips and Briggs when they realized their defensive tackle situation was horrific. And even, the in-season trades, they fixed the nickel situation with Brownlee, and they were able to get a really good return with Mechie and Mitchell as throw-ins to help the receiver situation. So at least they've been proactive, fixing mistakes, and they've been proactive with some of these signings. So that to me is kind of the bigger thing. I like that Darren Muji has been the opposite of Douglas, being proactive with some of these moves.
Yeah, and you can see that they're trying to keep their special teams guys in place, right? Ruckert, he'll be a backup. That's it. That's his career trajectory. This might be the biggest contract he ever signs in the NFL with what he's shown throughout his career. But you want to draft your high end guys and you want to fill your backups through free agency. You don't want to live big time in free agency, in my opinion. So if we're eating into a little bit of that money that we have to get your backups in place here, I'm okay with that. This isn't a ridiculous contract. Like I said, it's a hold the fort guy. There's probably not much guaranteed in a year or two if they do decide that a tight end falls to them in the draft that they can't pass up on in the next two drafts. So no issue at all.
Yeah, look, we'll see the official details when the contracts, actually submitted and over the cap takes a look at it. But I don't think it's going to be, anything greater than a 1-year deal. Now, the Jets, if you want to look ahead to some other possible extension candidate, Zach Rosenblatt had a tweet here listing a few players of the names here, right? Nick Folk, Kene Nwanu, John Simpson, or AVT. Zach doesn't believe they'll both be back, only one. Harrison Phillips, who has a year left, but none of it is guaranteed. Tippmann is eligible for an extension. Brees is obviously the biggest free agent internally the Jets have. Could you see any other early extensions getting done from now until the start of free agency?
I mean, if Folk wants to continue to play, I have no issue with riding with him for another year. You have Nwangu, who's a really good pairing back deep with Isaiah Williams. If you want to kick the one, you got to worry about the other. So if you don't want to kick the one, you have to worry about the other. I mean, I would look to keep those guys together. And I am 100% against signing AVT. 3 of his 5 years, he hasn't been able to get to the finish line. Hasn't even been able to get to Thanksgiving 3 of those 5 years. So I have no desire. We can't even give him the 1-year prove it deal because I don't know if you guys are aware, this was the 1-year prove it deal. This is why they didn't sign him to the extension. This is why the previous regime picked up the option and they were going to let this ride out. So love the talent, love the player, but if the old adage, if your best ability is your availability, and if you're not there, I'm not going to take up a roster spot or a potential starting spot for you if you can't get out onto the field and stay there. So sometimes a change of scenery with situations like this is just good for all parties involved. I would go with Simpson. He's played. Jake, I remember a couple years ago, we had 14 guys that started on the offensive line. We're this late into the season. We're the only team in the NFL that has all 5 of their guys starting every week. So why change it? You don't know how AVT would work out if he moves to left. Joe Tippmann, to me, deserves to be your right guard of the future. He deserves that extension. I would give him and Simpson both like 3-year deals and lock them up and keep that pair together and then go either upgrade in free agency if somebody like Lindenbaum hits, or go get yourself a center in the draft and lock this line up for the foreseeable future.
I'm iffy on Simpson because I don't think he's had a great year. I think he's been okay. A lot of penalties, which I don't love. I think it really could come down to what is his market, right? Because if the Jets believe AVT would take a 1-year deal for $5 million, that might be too good for them to pass up. And then knowing they have the 2 seconds and they could find a guard center in either free agency that could come in and hold the fort, or they could draft someone that could compete with Josh Myers, and whoever wins that battle would start with a rookie basically being in the pipeline. Maybe they go down that route. Like if Simpson prices himself out, maybe the Jets are like, AVT for a 1-year deal, $5 million with incentives. That's better than paying John Simpson, a deal that's going to pay him 12 to 15 million AAV. I'm not sure what his market would look like. So I do agree with Zach. It feels like only one of them is back. I know they love AVT. You just wonder how the injury alters their perception. But I'm with you. I could see it going either way. All right, we're going to get to the Mike Florio sound now because he on NBC yesterday reacting to the Steve Wilkes fire is speculating about Aaron Glenn. And I'll play the full clip and then we'll react. So this was Mike Florio on his show, PFT Live, again, talking about Steve Wilkes and saying a couple times here that he thinks there's a chance that Aaron Glenn could be one and done.
The New York Jets got splattered by the Jaguars on Sunday, 48-20. The Jets had already been eliminated, but you're still playing for pride, and you're playing, in some cases, for employment. Steve Wilkes, the defensive coordinator of the Jets, former interim head coach of the Panthers, former defensive coordinator of the 49ers. He was head coach for 1 year of the Cardinals. He was fired by Aaron Glenn, and the thing that just strikes me as odd here, Aaron Glenn is a defensive head coach. And he fired his defensive coordinator. There's just something odd about that. If the defense is so bad that the coordinator should be fired, I think you're putting yourself a little too close to the flame, Devin. And I still think there's a chance it's going to be one and done for Aaron Glenn in New York. And I think this move that he made is a manifestation of what he's feeling right now, rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic as he's 3 weeks away from possibly being one and done as the New York Jets head coach. And I'm a big believer in admitting mistakes and not doubling down, but you still are admitting the mistake. And he's admitting by firing Wilkes that what he did is what he shouldn't have done. And I know Sims has been big on this all year long, and we see it with offensive coaches. When you become a head coach, you don't abandon your offense. You bring your offense and you run your offense. And the only time that I think it's worked for the defensive guys when Mike Tomlin went to Pittsburgh, because they had that 3-4 zone blitzing system perfected. So even though Tomlin was a Tampa 2 guy, Dick LeBeau, he's got it. I'm not going to mess with it. It's working. I'm not going to screw it up. That's far different from I'm just going to bring in some coordinator and let him run a defense even though it's different than mine. So I think there's a chance Aaron Glenn's going to be one and done. We'll see what the Jets do.
So I listen to that. And again, Mike Florio has broken stories before. He's not afraid to give opinion. So that to me sounds more like speculation than a report, right? He's not saying that Glenn is definitely going to get fired. He's saying he thinks it could happen. We're a lot closer to the situation than Mike Florio is. I don't believe Aaron Glenn is going to get fired. I don't think firing Steve Wilkes was Aaron Glenn trying to save his own ass. I think ultimately when they made the deals at the deadline to trade away Sauce and to Quinnen Williams, they made those deals with the understanding that they were going to get the 2026 offseason and then the 2026 season to improve. And that includes getting a quarterback. I think that Woody Johnson, whether we agree or disagree, has a ton of faith and still believes in Aaron Glenn. His defense of Glenn the last time Woody publicly spoke was to blame Justin Fields for being awful. So they will be able to use the Fields excuse for the year one debacle. They will now say, we have all these picks. We're going to get our quarterback this offseason. We have cap space. We'll improve the team. We'll get our guys. And a lot of that, I think, is some BS because, again, Aaron Glenn was the one who wanted Justin Fields and said he's never been coached properly and we're going to coach him up, and said that this team was going to be coached better overall so they'd win games that way. We all know that the goalposts from Glenn have moved, but I don't think Woody wants to admit a mistake of this magnitude after just 1 year. So I still would be surprised, even if the Jets lose out, which I think they will, if Aaron Glenn gets fired. I don't believe he's in danger of losing his job. I'm not sitting here and saying he's done a good job this year because I don't believe that. I think Aaron Glenn's done a terrible job this season, but I don't think Woody Johnson is going to pull the plug on a head coach that, according to Rich Cimini, he's paying $10 million a year. I don't believe he's going to pull the plug after just 1 year and fire a franchise legend. I'd be really, really surprised if that happens, Nick.
I agree with everything you said, but for the point of discussion, I'll take the other side of it for this. What if you're starting to sign some of the pieces that could be Aaron Glenn guys so you don't have to worry about that in the offseason, right? What if Muji's being proactive here, getting Myers locked in, getting Ruckert locked in because you might make a move? Now, I don't think they will. I agree with you, but there could be a little smoke there, right? Glenn, something I want to kill with this narrative. Everyone keeps saying, though, Glenn was brought in as a defensive guy. No, he's coached defense. He was brought in to be a head coach. He wasn't a defensive guru. He wasn't a Matt Patricia running a top defense, getting a job opportunity, coming from a great defensive scheme and Bill Belichick. He was brought in as a leader. He was brought in to be the CEO of the football program. So he wasn't brought in because the Lions defense was the top defense in the league every year and he can't miss. He was brought in because of his demeanor, his attitude, his ideology, his ability to deal and lead men. That's why he was brought in. So yeah, he fucked up, Jake, flat out. Like the Wilkes thing, he got fired after 1 year in San Francisco because he messed up and he blitzed at the wrong time in the Super Bowl, and Shanahan did not like that, so he was out. Cost him a Super Bowl, a lot of people say. Now you bring him in here, and you don't have a true identity, and you don't have when you want to coach the defense, you have to coach to the team that you have, not the team that you want. And I feel that they were trying to do things, and you saw it early on with the moves that they made. Right? They traded Sauce, they traded Carter. They signed Stevens right away. They drafted Az Thomas. They go and trade Brownlee because very quickly they saw that they didn't have the type of guys that they wanted to run their scheme. So they made moves on it. Uh, when you're looking at this defense going forward, it needs a lot. Like there's a lot of pieces that like starting caliber pieces, not just depth pieces. A couple years ago, we were like, all right, we need to sprinkle a little depth here and there. So talent is an issue on the defense. I think we can all see that. The scheme was a major issue. Chris Harris had a successful career. He was a very good cornerback with the Broncos. Let's see if he can put his little touch on it. Maybe he gets a 3-game audition here. Maybe that's somebody that Chris Banjo was a first-time coach. He's done outstanding. Maybe Harris is that guy that's been a hidden gem sitting in your building and you didn't even know. Maybe he's got something there.
Look, I think ultimately we could be honest about Aaron Glenn. He's done a bad job in his first year, but between the money they're paying him, between the fact that Woody Johnson's the one who ultimately made this hire, I don't think his ego would allow him to admit this kind of mistake. If you want to argue Aaron Glenn should be fired, I understand the argument. All right. Again, the Jets have been basically non-competitive in half their games this year, and they're not trending in the right direction. They're not doing what the Saints are doing right now, right? Where they've had impressive wins against division opponents the last 2 weeks after looking like the worst team in the league. Like we're not seeing growth from really anyone on the team, especially on defense, his area of expertise. Yes, he's hired to be the head coach, but again, you have to be an expert on your side of the ball. Like D'Amico Ryans is a head coach of the Texans. He coaches the team. He's an expert on his side of the ball. Mike McDonald is a defensive coach with Seattle. He's an expert with that Seattle defense, his side of the ball. The list goes on, not to mention all the bright offensive guys that are having success in year one, like Liam Cohen and Ben Johnson, for example. So we could be honest and say it has been a really disappointing first season for Glenn. But again, I don't think that Woody's going to fire him after just 1 year. Like I don't see it. It doesn't seem like something Woody wants to do. This is a guy that when he last publicly spoke, gave Glenn the full endorsement, said he hugs him every day, tells him he believes in him. For him to do the full 180 after they made these deals, trading away Sauce and Quinnen to accumulate all the draft capital, it would really surprise me. And to me, there's just no evidence of him being a one and done. Now, I guess if they get completely embarrassed, these final 3, could Woody maybe change his mind? I suppose, but nothing Florio said there to me is indicative of Glenn losing his job. Firing Wilkes, to me, it doesn't equate to Glenn rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic and him being fired. If this was year 2 and this happened, then yes, if they're in a spot where they're 3-11 a year from now, I think Aaron Glenn will be fired after year 2. He's got to show real improvement. They got to win games next year. They got to be in the mix, right? They can't start 0-7 again or 1-6. But he's in year 1. And again, I don't think he's going to be fired after 1 year. I'm not sitting here saying he shouldn't be fired, but I just don't think Woody's going to make that kind of move.
I agree. I agree 100%. And I think that if they were going to do it, I think it would have been done already, to be honest with you. After that start, and who knows? If you go out and you lose 90-10 between the Buffalo and the New England game the last 2 weeks, maybe Woody just says, this is enough. I'm not going to do this. But I don't think he does. I think he likes Glenn. I think he wants Glenn to succeed. I think when you look at it from a football perspective, you traded away your best 2 players. You tried a short-term bridge quarterback. It didn't work. You have these draft assets coming in. You have your offensive line in place. I remember 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9 years ago when we had all these questions with the offensive line. Now the offensive line is our only stable room in the building. So there's a positive there, and I'll go great lengths to find a positive. But I think the cornerbacks, when healthy with Brownlee and Thomas, are a nice room. But there's a lot of additions that need to be made. You can look at this from a football perspective and say the talent isn't good enough, and we got to make the talent better because other teams have better talent than us marginally, but they have better coaching. And you got to get this defensive coordinator job right. When you're a head coach, you're usually allowed to make one change with the coordinator. Some, if you have success, can do it further down the road. But in the beginning of your career as a head coach, they'll give you a shot. They'll say, okay, you didn't get this one right. We'll give you a freebie. Now get it right, though, or else it's your ass that's on the line next.
The fact of the matter is, if you're a Jet fan and you want to be skeptical about Aaron Glenn, you have every right to be. Again, the Jets are likely going to finish 3-14. That just doesn't happen that often in their franchise's history. The Jets have only lost 14 games twice in their history. And the history of the Jets, we know, is just littered with losing. And that has only happened 2 other times before this year. The Gase final season in 2020 and the Kotite second season in 1996. That's the type of ineptitude we're looking at this year. And this is year 1. So it's legitimately concerning. Look, Aaron Glenn hired Steve Wilkes. Like, that's a really bad hire. Like, the team has not shown real improvement down the stretch. He said everything he said about coaching up guys and being able to take the existing players that were here and turn them into winners, right? That's what Parcells did in 97. That's where Glenn probably got the idea. You look at the 96 Jets and the 97 Jets, very similar rosters, right? Like, Glenn chose to bring back a lot of these guys like Isaiah Oliver and Tony Adams and Michael Clemens, right? Like, it's just, it is a legit concern to me because I don't know really what Aaron Glenn does well as a head coach at this point. He doesn't call plays. I can't even tell you the team really plays hard for him. Like, he got the special teams hire right with Banjo. Mike Westhoff recommended Glenn hire him, and good job by Glenn for hiring Banjo, but it's not enough. Like, that's the concern here. And I do believe that if you're someone who thinks that the Jets should move on, I can't tell you you're wrong for feeling that way. I'll just tell you I disagree with Mike Florio, and I don't see it happening. But, like, again, what does Aaron Glenn do really well as a head coach? What can I point to that should give me confidence other than the fact, well, he loves the Jets and he was a great player 30 years ago? Like, it's really tough.
Yeah. And let me ask you a question. If they keep him, are you surprised?
No, I'm telling you, I don't think they're going to fire him.
If they fire him, are you surprised?
I'd be very surprised. Yes.
So, oh yeah.
If they fire him, yeah, I think
Okay.
I'd be shocked if they fired him.
What if they get their doors blown off and it's 90-10 back-to-back weeks with the Bills and the Patriots?
Even that, I don't know if that would be enough.
Yeah. Okay.
It's possible. Do the odds increase?
For us is Woody Johnson on the fence teetering, right? Like, we need it to be here or here. We don't want Woody on the fence, and then he can easily be tipped in either direction, right?
Yeah. Look, I mean, what you don't want is what happened with Saleh, right? Where if you only were going to give Robert Saleh 5 games the following year, then he should have been fired in 2023. So if Woody's having any sort of doubts, get rid of the defensive-minded coach right now before you're about to likely trade up a bunch of assets or a couple assets, whatever it ends up being, to get one of these quarterbacks, Mendoza or more, right? Like, get the offensive coach now before it's too late, because we've seen this. The history of, like, teams with the number 1 pick, if that's where the Jets end up trading, their coaches get fired a lot of times in that season or immediately after, like Eberflus last year. This year, Brian Callahan, Urban Meyer with Lawrence, who was the Browns coach? What's his name? Hugh Jackson got fired Baker's rookie year.
Walrus guy. Who's the Walrus?
Well, he was the O-line coach,
Okay.
Bob something. But yeah,
Kitchens?
No, Freddie Kitchens was the OC who then got promoted. Bob Wiley was the guy's name.
Okay.
Big old bat Bob Wiley. But no, my point is, again, like, if you're wavering even a little, like, they made a mistake. Again, if you don't have faith in the guy, what are we wasting our time for? Because
because that's exactly where I was trying to lead you. So great job. Does he learn from his mistakes? Where if you're on that hot of a seat, you make the move in January. You don't let it go into next year, and then you have egg on your face that you have to do it again come October. So it's these last couple games, man. They got to show some fight. They got to be able to because Woody can Woody at any time, right?
Woody can Woody. And look, here are some of the things that I think Jet fans are rightfully concerned with when it comes to Aaron Glenn. I mean, his handpicked quarterback was Justin Fields. He said that he didn't think Fields was ever coached up properly. He said they would be the ones to let him play QB and maximize his potential. Fields never played worse. And this is not me saying Fields is good because I've never been a Fields believer, but we also have to be fair. It's never been this bad for Justin Fields. There's been some really horrific, and it's been better of late, but still, the game management this year has left a lot to be desired, right? This is the coach who said the last 4 minutes of each half belonged to the coach. Well, they straight up lost the game in London because of his clock management at the end of the first half. And then, of course, the debacle at the end of the second half, right? The not benching Justin Fields sooner, right? He also said that his coaching would elevate players. Everyone looks worse. He talked about Will McDonald being coached better to do more this year. He had 10.5 sacks last year, right? McDonald has 7 all season. 4 of them came in one game. 2 of them came in week 1. Name me one defensive player besides Jawan Briggs who's improved. Again, the defense is horrific. He hired Wilkes. I'm not giving him credit for firing Wilkes when you struck out that badly with a guy who's now been one and done in his last 6 jobs. It's just no one was looking for this team to win, 10, 11, 12 games. We wanted to see improvement and progress, and they're going in the opposite direction. These last 2 weeks, they've allowed 82 points. So it's tough, man. Again, I don't think he's going to be fired, but I understand why there's a lot of Jet fans out there who don't believe in this guy. And unfortunately, he's probably getting a second year and is going to oversee the selection of a quarterback.
Yeah, I'm a big supporter of Glenn. I lived through the Aaron Glenn years as a player. I'm a huge fan of the player, the man, the persona. I love all of that. And I've been very supportive of him, as you know, as a head coach. I would put it right now, 70% he stays, 30 he's gone. And
you actually think it's that high?
That he goes?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that if you go out and you get embarrassed in these last couple games, which the way we played this past Sunday, I can see the same exact thing going on. The Bills and the Patriots would love to put 40 spots on us and get everything right. We're their tune-up game before the playoffs. And they're going to show everybody that they're right going into the playoffs. There's going to be no mercy. And if you can't stop it and you're getting embarrassed, and the whole story is about how the team got worse and they're falling apart and it got ugly, I could see Woody prints money. When you're an NFL owner, you make your profit is between $2 and $250 million a year. He can bite the bullet if he's embarrassed. That's what billionaires do. They will do whatever it takes to make themselves look better.
I think it's an ego thing with Woody because you're right. Money, look, it's Woody Johnson. He can afford it, even if Glenn's making a lot of money for a first-time coach. Samini said on his podcast, Glenn making $10 million a year. He signed a 5-year deal. To me, it's an ego thing with Woody Johnson. Will he admit a mistake? These were his hires. He would tell people privately, Saleh and Douglas, they were not my hires. They were my brother's hires. He never felt connected to them. That's why he felt fine firing Saleh, being like, that wasn't me. That was my brother, right? Yeah. So he feels connected to Aaron Glenn. He gives him a hug every day and says, I love you, Aaron.
I hug him every day. I hug him every day.
It would take a lot for Woody to admit that level of mistake. But look, I suppose it could happen. Hit the like button if you're tuned in. We got a giveaway across the 2 shows today. Ladies and gentlemen, a signed helmet by Pro Football Hall of Famer, Jet legend number 73, Joe Klecko. Enter during this show or our second show later, and you'll be entered for a chance to win this for your Jet Man Cave, and you'll qualify for our weekly raffle every Tuesday with Robbie Sabo on the show, where we give away signed items throughout the week. You tally the totals from each show, and you have a chance to win a Nick Mangold signed football, a signed ball by each member of the Sack Exchange, Joe Klecko, of course, included in that, and a signed jersey by Vinny T. Vinny Testaverde. Let me shout out Anthony Logerato, who is the first Asmaniac to enter today's raffle. Anthony, this is for you.
Let's go, Jets! Let's go, Jets! Let's go, Jets! Let's go, Jets!
If Anthony gifted you a membership, make sure you thank him. Some super chats here. Credible commenter says, this is confirmation Glenn's not getting fired. Florio, so arrogant, he thinks he could speak it into existence. Again, I think Mike Florio oftentimes does do like informed speculation. I think these comments here are off base, though. I don't think there's validity to it. I don't think there's anything we could point to that would give us an indication Glenn is on the hot seat. He tried to use Wilkes as a fire as the reason for some signs that Glenn could be worried. So he's throwing someone off the Titanic or rearranging deck chairs in the Titanic, he said. But I don't think one has anything to do with the other. I think the defense was probably going to quit and be just as bad as they were for the third week in a row, Sunday in New Orleans, if Glenn didn't make this move. And I think that's what it came down to. I think Glenn just finally said, I can't go forward with this man as my DC. You had players not speaking to the media because I think they were going to be unable to control it any longer. So I think the locker room would have went up in flames, at least defensively, if Wilkes survived another week, which is why Glenn made the change. I don't think it's because Glenn's trying to save his job these last 3 games. I don't think Florio's reasoning behind his speculation is accurate.
Agreed. And something that I always look at when it comes to if somebody's going to get fired or not, would you give a damn if he went and coached the Patriots or the Bills or the Dolphins? That's how I look at it. Are we going to get burned if we lose this guy? And right now, the answer is no. So I'm not going to be upset if Aaron Glenn does get fired, Jake, because I'm not afraid of Aaron Glenn going anywhere and coaching and burning us. So I think he can improve. I think he can make the defensive coordinator higher and get better there. And I think the talent needs to improve. But as of right now, I'm not going to be upset at all. Of course, there'll be drama involved with it, and I'll eye roll over that. But I'm not afraid of Aaron Glenn and going coaching any other team. So I'm at that point where I'm very indifferent on it, to be honest with you. I'm good either way. I'm content with it.
Look, if they fired him, I'm not going to sit here and say, what? How could they? The Jets are a joke. No, it would show me, hey, you admitted you made a mistake. You recognize you're going to be picking in all likelihood in the top 4, and you understand how important it is to get the hire correct. Hey, some non-Jets news that I want to share because it's related to a team in the division.
Breaking sports news on the Jake Asman Show.
Tua has been benched. The Dolphins are benching Tua Tagovailoa. Quinn Ewers will start Week 16 versus the Bengals. Think about this for a moment. The Miami Dolphins extended Tua. They gave him a $200+ million contract. He already has $54 million fully guaranteed to him next season, and they're benching him. He looked awful on Monday, and here's the Jet tie-in. Zach Wilson is one of the backups, and they're bypassing Wilson for a 7th-round rookie out of Texas in Quinn Ewers. Shows you how bad Wilson must be, that he's not even getting a sniff, and he's in his 5th year. Great pick, Joe Douglas. Thank you for that. So Tua benched, and now you wonder what his future is in Miami. McDaniels was basically hired to coach up Tua, and for the first couple of years there, it looked like he was doing that, got the contract. But since all these injuries have happened, he hasn't been the same player. He's afraid to get hit. They don't have as much in their playbook. They can now call for him where he's rolling out on play action and stuff. This could be the end for Tua in Miami. Maybe they just absorb a huge cap hit and deal with it. But breaking news, Tua benched, and I think everything is now up in the air for the future of that franchise in the Jets division.
All right, I'm going to throw you a softball here. Why is Ewers the quarterback, Jake? Because Zach Wilson
stinks.
There you go.
Man.
Yeah, you see what you have with a rookie, right? You know what Zach Wilson is. Zach Wilson is your emergency in-game backup, but if you have a week to plan, and even a offensive guru like McDaniels knows, I'm going to take my chances with the unknown rather than the known.
Wild. I mean, on March 15th, $3 million of Tua's 2027 salary becomes guaranteed. Cutting him would leave, according to Adam Schefter, $99 million in dead money. Post June 1 cut would equal $67.4 million in dead money in 26, 31.8 in 27. They might just do that, honestly, right? We've seen teams the last couple of years be more willing to deal with dead cap hits, even if they're enormous. The Carson Wentz dead cap hit with the Colts a few years ago. The Russell Wilson dead cap hit with Denver a few years ago. The Jets are dealing with not as significant as those numbers, but they're dealing with the Rodgers cap hit split over 2 years. But here are the numbers from Adam Schefter. I think we probably have seen the last of Tua, especially if they have a new coach. I think they probably just post-June want him, and they deal with the dead money and kind of have a quasi reset next year. And again, here's another Jet tie-in.
Jeez.
This is the same quarterback that torched the Jets. That offense torched the Jets. The Jets couldn't come close to getting near Tua a couple weeks ago. And then the Jets followed that one up by allowing Trevor Lawrence to play the best game of his life. And I know Lawrence is better than Tua, but still, give me a break. Like, the Jet defense was so historically inept. Tua's now benched 2 weeks after he just lit up the Jets. And now here we are, without Steve Wilkes having a job. And you see why. I mean, like, the Dolphins, they benched Tua 2 weeks after they could do whatever the heck they wanted against the Jets on the road.
Yeah. I mean, they ran the ball down our throat. Would they run for 254 or something like that? Yeah. Are they players now for a quarterback, Jake? Are they in the trade up?
I think they have to be, right?
Right? You're not going to go with yours going forward.
Now, the issue for Miami is they're 6-8 and they're at pick 11. So for them to get all the way up to get, let's say, Mendoza, or who's from Miami, by the way. So I know a lot of Finns fans at the beginning of the year when they were like 2-7, they were like, lose out, let's get Fernando. I don't think they'll be in range to get him, but they could be a player for, the second or third quarterback that starts to slide.
And now this begs the question, new quarterback, new coach.
Right. And I thought McDaniel did a pretty good job keeping that team together after they fired Chris Greer, the GM. But now I think everything is up in the air there.
See, so all the problems that the Jets have, though, Jake, this is one problem that we don't have. We don't have to worry about $250 million quarterbacks then falling flat on their face.
Nope.
We're good. That's one issue we don't have.
Wonderful. Wonderful. A couple of shout outs here. Charles Gorman in the house.
Baller!
He gifted a membership. He's in our raffle.
Who wanna fly with them Jets?
All right, let's get to some super chats here. This first one I'm seeing is from Venom. Parcells was great because he motivated. He hired a great staff, not because of X's and O's. Glenn A. Parcells, but that's the path he's going. Yeah, but the problem is Parcells knew the X's and O's great. Let's not act like Bill Parcells also wasn't a football genius. Like, he had major say on what the strategy they would implement on both sides of the ball and special teams, for that matter. I get what Glenn's trying to do, but he's doing a bad impersonation of Bill Parcells so far. We got to be honest.
I'll never forget being a kid back in like the early 90s when the Giants were on the Super Bowl run, 91, I guess. And I said to my dad, he goes, does Parcells coach offense or defense? And he goes, both. He's a football coach. And I just thought that that's something that always stuck with me, like, throughout like my life, with thinking about Parcells. Not many like that.
Be nice to have a Bill Parcells again.
Yeah, can't we?
Be nice.
I would
Dean
love to get a
checks in.
Super Bowl appearance every 5 years. Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah. Now would be the perfect time to fire AG and Muji. Top GMs and head coaches would salivate to come here with all our draft picks. I actually think Muji has done enough where, if he was able to stay around and you brought in a head coach he could work with, that's something I'd be open to. Like how Howie Rose was able to kind of stick around after the Chip Kelly debacle. He got to work with Doug Peterson. He got a chance to obviously survive that. And then he got to hire Sirianni. I'm not saying Muji's anywhere close to Howie Rose. I'm just saying I think Muji has done his job at a far higher level than Glenn has done his in year one. And I know Glenn ultimately is the de facto, GM as far as the final decision maker. But I think Muji, as far as like extracting value and showing some competency with the in-season stuff, to me, he's done better at his job than Glenn has done his in year one.
Yeah. Something I brought up the other day, too, is that Muji didn't even have his full staff in place for last offseason's free agency and the draft. Those moves in the front office are made post-draft. They keep the scouts and the personnel staff in place throughout the draft. He made a couple changes, nothing big, with the front office. No one really pays attention to those moves or names. But this is his first offseason with all of his people in place that know what he wants and know what he's looking for. I thought he did a really good job. I think when Jets fans look back in a couple of years, they're going to look at this draft as a very good draft with, Membu and Taylor headlining it. If AZ Thomas can be a Marcus Coleman type of starter, a guy that maybe gets some picks, has some good games, has some games where it's a bad matchup, but that's not bad for a CB2 going forward. You have more if more can be a long-term safety. And, you gotta look at the additions he's made and not include them in the draft, but his first offseason, like you said, Briggs, Brownlee, Isaiah Williams on probably on the verge of a Pro Bowl, who had his third touchdown return of the year taken away from him on a really bad call the other day. So he's made some nice additions on the cheap. Let's see what you do now when you have money. Let's see what you do when you have all these high assets. How do you maneuver the draft? Do you stay put? Do you roll these picks into additional picks and just believe in your scouting and believe in there's more value in round 2 and 3? We're going to trade back a little bit. We're going to stockpile even more picks for this year and the future. So how he handles the entire offseason financially and with the draft picks is going to tell us like the final piece of the puzzle. Do we really have that guy in place?
Ant Banks, speaking of money, back in the raffle. You're in, Ant. You're in. You're in for 2. Chris checks in. I don't want to risk using our bridge on Tua. Fields was smiling on the sidelines, not helping the QB last game. I feel like Tua gives me the same kind of vibe. Need a professional in the room. I want nothing to do with Tua, man. Anytime he's hit, you're worried about his livelihood. Forget whether or not he could play. Yeah. Again, I don't care if he costs nothing. He's not a good bridge option because same reasons you can't have Tyrod be the bridge because he's always hurt. If Tua is your guy, he gets hurt, well then crap, you have to put the rookie quarterback out there who might not be ready. You need to have someone more durable than Tua. And again, he hasn't been the same quarterback since all these injuries. A couple years ago, he was really good. He was efficient. He wasn't great, couldn't beat good teams, but he was solid. He's nowhere near that right now.
Agreed. And there's a little bit of a side note too. He can't win under 45 degrees.
Great point. And we're in the Northeast. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, he's somebody that if he does shake free, you look to bring him in Atlanta, in Indy. Shout out to Gorman. You put him in a dome, and maybe you can get the best out of him there with 8 or 9 of your games a year indoors.
Hit the like button if you guys are just tuning in. Again, we're reacting to the Jeremy Ruckert contract extension. We don't have the full details yet, but basically feels like similar to the Josh Myers 2-year deal, like another 1-year deal in actuality when we look at the guaranteed money. So you got Taylor and Ruckert locked in, and I don't think this precludes the Jets from signing a tight end in free agency or even drafting another tight end if BPA matches up with one of their picks, best player available. Not supposed to be a great tight end draft like last year was way better, but you never know what could be available for the Jets. And then, of course, discussing Mike Florio's comments that Aaron Glenn could be one and done. I disagree. Again, I'm not defending Aaron Glenn. I don't think he's done a good job this year. If Woody Johnson made that move, I would understand, but I just don't think he's going to make that move. And it's not because of money. I think it's because of ego. I think Woody does not want to admit a guy he hired, that he vouched for, that he wanted, he had to get rid of after just 1 year. Now, should he? That's a different conversation. Robert Kraft had to make a very difficult decision last year with his franchise legend that he had replaced Bill Belichick. And I don't think New England for a second regrets that decision. But I just don't think Woody's going to do it. And the problem for the Jets is, like last year, you had Vrabel. It's an easy thing for Robert Kraft to justify making that move. You fired Glenn. I'm not saying there aren't guys who wouldn't take this job. I think you would be able to get someone who would definitely be interested in this job, Nick. But it's not like there's that obvious, hey, Mike Vrabel out there that is taking it and would want the job. Whereas, like, it made too much sense for Vrabel to take the Pats job the second they fired Mayo last year.
Yeah. Who are you going to get, right? Like, if you make that move because there's a backdoor handshake agreement already and that you can go get that guy. Who's that guy? Give me a name. Like, just don't throw, not you, just in general. Give me that name. Give me that guy that says, I want to go coach the Jets. Hey, Woody, I'll do this. If this job's available, I'm in. That's pretty much what happened in New England last year. He came here, interviewed with us, used us, went to New England, and had the job. I missed Rodgers' 500th career touchdown pass because that news broke, and I was sharing it in the Discord group. And then as I'm walking back into the stadium, the cheers erupted for the 500th touchdown. So screw the Patriots, F them, and their fans as always, Jake.
Amen. Hey, some memberships flying off the shelves. It's a big giveaway. People want in. Matt L. is in our signed Joe Klecko helmet raffle for 5.
Time to lose some games, bitches. You guys should be pros at this. They don't give out trophies for 4 or 5 wins.
Maybe they should. Then the Jets would be incredible at that. Because you know what's amazing? As bad as the Jets have been, we never are the worst of the worst. We'll pick second. We'll pick third. We'll pick 7 or 8. We'll never actually be number one in terms of tankathon champions, right? The Knicks won a fake championship last night. I'll gladly take it, but it's not as meaningful as any actual championship. The Jets could never win their fake championship. Champions of being the worst. Sad.
We can't even get the 4 wins. We wouldn't even get a trophy this year.
Oh, man. Matt L., thank you. Hey, Rick Kent in the house. Our guy, Rick Kent, tuning in live from L.A. He's playing to win a signed Klecko helmet.
Hello? You play to win the game.
Rick Kent,
One of the
thank
homeboys
you.
right there.
Thank you to the great Rick Kent. Hey, big shout out to Kathleen. She became a channel member all on her own. She's in the raffle for one as well. Jay Petito with a $10 super chat, 2 raffle tickets. Any concern over Mendoza handling the Jets chaos / New York pressure if we make that move? Going to take a certain type of kid to make this work. I think he can handle it because I think his attitude is like, I went to Indiana. They sucked forever. Look what we did there. Like, he's such a positive guy. Like, I don't think, it'd be too much for him. You need someone like Mendoza who has that attitude, or you need like that cocky, like brash Jackson Dart, Baker Mayfield type of attitude, I think, to be successful with the Jets in the New York market. Like, you need to kind of have that either toughness, like chip on the shoulder mentality, or like kind of that easygoing, little cheesy, but like teammates gravitate to him personality Mendoza has. Like the Sam Darnold and the Zach Wilson personality. I don't know if that's the right personality for New York, but I think Mendoza would work. It's going to come down to the infrastructure around them, and obviously so much of it is luck, and it's a crapshoot anyway. But I do think Mendoza's personality is what they would need to work. What say you, Nick? I know you like Mendoza as well.
I'm huge. I was the first guy talking about Mendoza. I was talking about him Labor Day weekend, and I have not gotten off that bandwagon once. I think he's the perfect demeanor for New York. He's a nerdy. He got accepted to Yale, but then chose to go to Cal to play football.
He's brilliant.
Nerdy.
Yeah.
He's goofy. He doesn't take himself too seriously. He's not afraid to be himself and be genuine. He's going to be a great teammate. He's going to give you corny, dorky answers, but this guy loves football. Eli Manning is the biggest dork we've ever seen in the NFL.
Andrew Luck, huge dork.
Yes. Chad Pennington, kind of goofy, dorky, right? Those Pennington and Eli are adored in New York because of that, because they don't fit that brash, bold New York mold that we all expect, right? Aaron Judge, not like goofy, but like very not outside of himself, knows who he is, knows what needs to be done. And I think that's what I see when I see Mendoza. I could talk for hours about Mendoza and how much I love him as a prospect. So when I look at him, I have no question. The biggest questions I had about him, could he do it in clutch? He did it in Penn State on the road with that tremendous drive. Could he do it on a big stage? Did it against Ohio State. Made some really good throws when he needed to. Throws well when he moves out of the pocket. He's looking to throw. He reminds me as a college prospect of Aaron Rodgers as a college prospect. When he moves, he's still looking to beat you and throw it downfield. He doesn't look to scramble. He can run an RPO. He can get you some yardage with his legs. But when he moves, it's eyes downfield the entire time, looking for the opening, looking for the guy breaking off of his route. He knows where everyone's supposed to be. Throws with the anticipation. Go get this guy. I am 100% go get this guy. It's not a poster, Jay Quest. It's a full-size cardboard cutout. Get your goddamn facts right.
Jay Quest says Mendoza, or Nick has a Mendoza poster in his room, and there might be some love stains on the poster. Hey now. Jay Quest, come on, man. I mean,
I tell you things in confidence, dude. You're not supposed to bring that to the chat, Jay Quest.
Calm your freaky down.
And shout out to Jay Quest's son, who came on the show the other night and had a math competition with Tommy, OG Jets fan, and beat him.
Jay Quest's son is a genius, to be fair.
It didn't take a genius. It just took a third grader to beat Tommy at a math contest. It was great.
Peter Castro in the signed Joe Klecko helmet raffle for 2.
I hug him every day. I hug him every day.
If the Jets look bad the last 3 games, Woody's pulling the plug. He's had enough of Glenn, and the Jets look bad the last 3 games. So, Peter, did you copy and paste the message twice here?
He did it talk to text. If you have an iPhone and you do talk to text for a super chat, it duplicates it sometimes.
I see. Okay. Well, Peter, look, if they get blown out these final three, I still am not convinced Woody's doing it, but I wouldn't sit here and say it's a bad move if they did that. Again, I don't think Aaron Glenn's done a good job this year. I thought he stabilized some things and was showing some improvement after the 0-7 start, but these last two games really soured me. If you're a well-coached team, it doesn't happen. You don't get destroyed by a bad Dolphins team in your own building. They just benched Tua today, for crying out loud. All right, that doesn't happen if you're a well-coached team. If you have control over your defense and not just blame it on Steve Wilkes and say we're running his system. No, man, you're the head coach. Problem solve. Who's gotten better on this team? Who's improving? We're not seeing that. They're not better off now than they were at the beginning of the year. Again, he doesn't call plays. He doesn't show me the signs of like what the modern day coach is as far as being like an excellent strategist or an expert on his side of the ball. So I'm very skeptical. And by the way, to make matters worse, shout out to the NFL for just rubbing salt in the wound here. I saw this tweet pop up on my timeline, Nick, and it disgusted me. 3 coaches have double-digit wins in their first year with their new team. Mike Vrabel, Ben Johnson, Liam Cohen. And then here we are, Aaron Glenn, who's going to be only the 3rd coach in Jet history to lose 14 or more games.
But how many of them have double-digit losses, Jake?
Painful. Painful. This fan base just deserves so much more.
We do.
Frankie says, Mike McCarthy's that guy. LOL, I would. Yeah, I mean, look, again, McCarthy stabilized the Ford, right? Could get you back on track, hire a good staff. You trust him with a young quarterback. He's developed guys. Dak played the best in his career with McCarthy. He sat and helped develop Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. Mike McCarthy would be awesome. I would have no problem with that.
I'll say this. I'm not a big McCarthy guy, but if I knew McCarthy would take this job, I move Glenn in a heartbeat. I'm not getting rid of Glenn to go shop and try another rookie coach. If you can get a proven guy who's won games, won playoff games, won a Super Bowl, yes, I make the move. I don't know if you're going to get that.
It's tough. Reminder, this show's a podcast. If you ever miss it live, we're on Apple and Spotify. Just search Jake Asman Show, and you can take the show on the go in audio form. We're going to get to your calls shortly here. We got some solid people on the line, and I will spoil one of them. The Chuck Wagon is cooking up something big right now, so be ready for that, folks. But load up your calls.
That'll be good.
That's right. Chuck. Get excited. This one is from Mike Perez, though. He says, quote, so you hung out with a dude all day instead of watching your team. I love the show, and I love the show, and as maniacs, I hate this team. Let's get our 6'6" franchise QB. Mike Perez, you're in the raffle for 5. For those unsure what the quote that Mike Perez is referencing there is referring to, I present to you a moment from this past Sunday's post-game show. We'll play it and then come back with your calls. Here we go, folks. Buckle up.
This team is not well coached. Oh, and I heard Rebecca said she wanted to marry a guy like me. Well, Rebecca, I would love for you to deflower me.
Whoa. Keep it in your pants, Gorman. This is a family show.
I was told to say it, so.
I don't care who told you to say it. Sick.
I'm an idiot.
Oh, someone told me to say it, so I have to say it. Oh, I'm Charles Gorman.
I didn't really watch the game because I was with a friend. I was at the Woodbridge Center Mall.
This is a brutal call. You didn't watch the game?
I checked the box score.
You didn't watch the game?
I was with a friend, Jake.
So you chose a comic book convention over your football team? What type of fan are you?
Apparently not a good one. I wanted to spend time with a friend, Jake. Is that something wrong?
Yes. Now, was this friend of yours a woman? Was she going to make sweet and passionate love to you?
His name was Preston, and he's been my best friend for a while.
So you hung out with a dude all day instead of watching your team? What are we doing?
Shame.
Beast, I could care less what you think.
Shame.
So
what a lousy loser he turned out to be. Gorman, you've lost every bit of my respect. You clown-sucking douchebag.
Sir Lucas says, does Preston dress up like a comic book chick? Good question.
He did not dress up like a chick. He's not a cross-dresser.
Calm down. Is Preston your friend or gay lover?
Not gay lover.
So you went to a comic book convention with Preston, who's your friend and not gay lover?
Yes.
Because you know the Jets play Sunday at 1 o'clock.
I know that. And I wanted to spend time with a friend.
Clown-sucking douchebag.
You want to fight, asshole?
I don't want to fight, period. I went to Sbarro's.
You chose Sbarro's? You couldn't have picked anything else at a mall?
Wanted some meatballs.
From Sbarro's?
Yes.
Really? You chose Sabaro's voluntary? Come on. And for the meatballs, you went to a comic book convention with your gay lover and ate Sabaro?
He's not my gay lover. First of all, and even if he was my gay lover, why is that a freaking problem?
It's just, it would be surprising because you started your call trying to pursue Rebecca in the chat. But you didn't watch the Jets today. So what exactly is the purpose of calling in?
I checked the box score.
No, the box score could lie. There's no context. There's no feel for the box score. Every game has a heartbeat. According to New Q here, you hung out with a dude and ate balls over watching your football team. What is that?
It's a mat. I also got a poster for him.
Chris wants to know, does Preston lay on that mat?
No, he does not. Stop it.
You don't have to get so mad. You can just clarify for the chat.
And I got this too. Cost me about $40.
You spent $40 on that?
Yeah, $5 discount.
A $5 discount?
I wanted it. Rebecca, if you want to talk to me via email.
Email?
She said she would marry a guy like me. That's what I was told.
You're just going to sell your soul for the first woman that shows interest in you, Charles?
No. I'm saying if she wants to talk to me in general, period.
Now, Rebecca says that she would, but you would have to give up Preston.
Rebecca, we're not gay lovers. Stop it. I'm going to have serious talk with this woman.
Preston or Rebecca?
Rebecca, I would love for you to deflower me.
Thank God for the Gormans, the Beasts, Bobby, Gary's. This season's been so bad. It has been a nightmare season, but God bless this community that tunes into the show and allows me to have a job talking about a football team that hasn't made the playoffs longer than any team in professional sports.
We did a psychological study of the guy that would tell Gorman to say something like that. That's who would
do such a
who would
thing?
Put Charles up to say deflowered? I don't know.
Who would say such a thing? Some super chats before we get to the calls. Frankie, Mike McCarthy's that guy. LOL, I would. Amen. Johnny Jets. Who would you pick to mentor the QB room for next year? I would like Jameis if the Giants let him go. He's under contract, so Jameis would be the perfect bridge and veteran mentor. He's been great with Dart, and he still could play as he's proven. He's under contract. See, all the guys we like, Brissett, Winston, Mac Jones, they all were signed to 2-year deals by the teams that signed them, which was smart by those respective teams. So one thing the Giants did right, they had Russ, Jameis, and then they, were able to get Dart. They had a good quarterback room in place. Problem is, a lot of those guys that we like, they're all under contract. So we could be looking at like a Marcus Mariota, and maybe you have Brady Cook if he shows a little more of these final three, and then you have a rookie in that room with him.
Are you upset if the quarterback room next year is Mendoza, Taylor, and Cook?
I think Tyrod might retire.
I don't think he will. I saw the podcast with Sharp and Ocho Cinco, and he said, he's like,
that's before he got hurt again.
Point where I'm not. I still enjoy the preparation. I still enjoy the work going into it. He's like, I haven't even thought about retirement yet. Not saying that an injury wouldn't, but I wouldn't be surprised if they bring him in. If he plays another year, I think he stays with us for another 1-year deal. I'm okay with him mentoring. I'm okay with him being that voice and how to teach a young kid to be a quarterback, how to handle New York. He's very good demeanor. He's very down to earth. I think he would be a great sounding board for a Mendoza.
Yeah, look, I have no
starting
problem.
Mendoza from day one, though, and I know a lot of people don't like that, but I'm going with Mendoza from the rip.
Well, I mean, if you trade up for him, it's like the chances are that high he's going to start. Again, Tyrod can't be the only veteran if you bring him back. You would have to also sign Mariota or, Minshew or Jimmy G, who also gets hurt a ton. But you want to put the quarterback you draft in a position where if they're not ready, that's okay. You're not forcing him out there because that'd be a mistake. You want to give the guy a chance. Peter Castro says we should call Tannenbaum and the BS 33rd Club. Hey, that's my co-host on Sundays, damn it. Mike T and I, every Sunday on ESPN New York. Mike's on the show from 9 to noon. I host the first hour solo. And look, Mike and I have argued about Glenn before. He's a Glenn defender. He helped hire him, obviously. We've gotten into it. People have heard those segments. Could be contentious Sunday, but I got to call it how I see it. Aaron Glenn has done a terrible job this year. And if Mike tries to defend it, we'll have a healthy exchange and we'll go back and forth on it because I got to be honest with the audience. I got to be honest with the Jet fans who tune into the show for honesty and not for someone who's a team shill.
You're great. And I got to take you to task on something, though. You got on Charles for not watching the Jet game. But then you didn't get on him for calling into a Jet show during the Colts game, Jake. He missed both of his teams on Sunday.
And you know what's crazy? The Colts were like the coolest story in sports this past week because everyone wanted to see what Old Man Rivers was going to do.
That's it. And we have to thank Charles. The Colts were 6-1 when Charles declared their allegiance, and they were the 32nd pick on Tankathon. And now they're 8-6. They have been 2-5 since Charles went over there. I called him the other night, and I was like, you cannot come back. You have to stick there. You're doing God's work right now for Jets fans, Charles. Please stay there. He was like, all right, I will. I got you for this year. So,
ladies and gentlemen, a super chat. Folks. That he is. We're going to get to Gorman shortly here. The best argument for McCarthy I've seen is from Joe and Connor at Badlands saying, bring him in to stabilize things, then go look for a winning coach. Respectfully, this has been my argument for Mike McCarthy for over a year. He was on my list. I wanted the Jets to hire him last year, and they didn't even interview him. So then when the Jets actually started their process of interviewing coaches, the coach I wanted them to hire, because he had previous head coaching experience, and I thought he did a good job when he was a head coach, and he's from Brooklyn, I wanted Brian Flores. That was the guy I wanted of the guys they actually spoke to. My number one option for the Jets was to hire Mike McCarthy, keep Rodgers with Devontae, stabilize things, and draft Jackson Dart, and I thought it'd be in the second round, but draft a quarterback early. And the best way to me to establish a winning culture is to actually win. But I understood what they were doing, getting rid of Rodgers, and I understood the Glenn hire. It just we gotta be honest. It hasn't been good. And again, this is what happens when you have a first-time coach learning on the job. It's a different role. You never know how someone's going to handle it. But I've been arguing for McCarthy forever. I think the Giants should hire Mike McCarthy. I think they need someone with experience as well. It's not like these jobs are not, when you've been as bad as the Jets and Giants have been, it's really tough to hire another coach who's never done it before and expect them to be successful. Like this market eats you up, especially the Jet job.
But on the flip side of that, experienced coaches don't want to come deal with New York and deal with the losing cultures that have been in place. You know,
I think McCarthy would take the job in a second if he was offered it.
When you're a head coach for the first time, you normally only get one more opportunity. And I don't think many people want to put their head coaching livelihoods on a New York team right now.
I think McCarthy would have taken the job a year ago. They didn't even interview him. They didn't interview Gruden either. They didn't interview Pete Carroll. That turns out that would have been a disaster hire. But my big thing was no first timers. And my other thing was, if you were going to hire a first-time coach, can the GM be someone with experience? Now, to be fair to the Jets, I think Muji's done an adequate job so far. I've been impressed as the year has gone on, but man, there's legitimate concerns, and I know why this fan base is feeling it right now. All right, let's get to your calls, shall we? Let's check in with a legend, man. I've been checking in with this guy throughout the week. He's still tuned into the show from the hospital. Johnny Boy is first up. Johnny Boy, how you feeling, man?
Hey, what's going on, Nick? What's going on, Jake? Hey,
what's up, buddy? How you feeling?
Good, man. A little bit on they just gave me my meds, man. So, Nick, you know how that conversation will start going. I'll start talking, and then it goes away. But
well, how did you get them to prescribe you Viagra when you're in the hospital for this?
I don't know. There's something about they say that my body produces this natural Viagra, and I don't know, but you know, ladies love it. So
calm your freaky down.
You feeling better, man?
Yeah. The medicine. Well, first off, Jake, Nick, Jake, thank you so much for reaching out, bro. It means a lot, man, and all the kind words and everything that you've said. So I appreciate you a lot, bro. They got good news. If they gave me this medicine, because well, Jake, you know too, I had the internal bleeding that was going on, and this morning the surgeons came in. I've been on this new medicine that's supposed to be like coating my stomach to stop the internal bleeding, and it's working. And if that keeps going, which looks like that is working, I might get, and I could start passing actual solid foods and a whole bunch of other checklists that I need to pass. I might be home Friday.
Great.
So, which is huge. That's huge, because they thought that I was going to have to be here like past Christmas. I'm pretty hyped in regards to that. And then after this, though, it's the rehab piece of it that I have to do. So I can't lift up anything past 5 pounds because they're scared of all the stitching and stuff that I have inside. But doing good, man. Look, thank you to everybody that's reached out again. Like, you guys don't know how much your guys' words have meant. And then I've been tuning in, listening, hearing your guys' takes on everything going on with the Jets and all that, man. It's as dysfunctional as this organization is, right? I mean, you guys have kept me sane. So I appreciate
Which is
that.
a
And
tough
again,
task. I talk to you a lot. That's a tough task, keeping you sane.
dude, it really, really is, man. So, and the pain medicine, they got it, the right ones now. So I'm actually being able to sleep through, but I was having the reverse effects from it where I wouldn't sleep at all. So, so got really great news, good news. I'm, knock on wood, everything going well. I'll be back home Friday, and then starting the recovery PT piece of it after that, which, I'm excited for that, see what they're going to have to try to do and things in regards to that. So, but the Jets, man. So we got rid of Wilkes, finally got rid of Lazard. I still don't understand that there's somebody out there that said, I can't believe we got rid of Lazard right now. He's such a good blocker. And I was like, what? It's like,
He's a great tanker. He's a great tank commander for these last 3 games. So is Steve Wilkes, for that matter.
So now with the DC position gone, right? I think a lot of the focus, I feel like it's going to be on Tanner. Are you guys completely sold on Tanner? Or if there is an offensive guru that comes out, right? And I don't know any of the names that I can just think off the top of my head. And you don't really see any, it's like an upgrade essentially what Tanner's doing right now from his play for the year. Would you jump off that boat and bring in the more savvy, like a Sean McVay minded type of coach out there?
One
Would
of the
you do
greatest
that?
offensive minds in the league? Yes, Johnny. I would
Yeah.
100% bring it.
So that's what I mean. Like, are you guys wanting to see more from Tanner itself? Because that's what I want to see, especially if we're going to go offensive rookie quarterback. Like, I want somebody that's going to be able to fully develop. That's why it's intriguing for me. Like, look, Brady Cook is not the answer. So do not think that Brady Cook is that guy, because he's not, right? But if you can make that individual into like a rosterable backup quarterback to that, then that kind of speaks volumes within itself. But I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on that.
Look, I and feel better, Johnny. Great to hear from you and hang in there, man. We're all thinking about you, and some good news there with what you updated us on. I'm not sold on Tanner Engstrand. I would not be upset if he was retained. I would understand it, right? Continuity wise, you think he'll be better in year 2. His quarterback situation's been brutal, so I understand if they retain him. That said, if like in this hypothetical scenario, Mike McDaniel was interested in the job, if he's fired by Miami, then yeah, obviously you got to reevaluate. But I don't think it's that attractive of a job. Glenn's going to be on the hot seat in year 2. You're going to have a rookie quarterback. It's not like that OC, when they were hired, would know who the quarterback is, unless the Jets get some luck and they end up with the number 1 pick, where you could tell that guy, hey, we're going to take quarterback that you like to work with here, Mendoza, whoever, probably Mendoza, let's say. I don't think that they're going to be able to get a great candidate, and thus I think Tanner's done enough where he should get a second year.
Yeah, you could, and coaches will view Aaron Glenn as maybe a lame duck head coach, right? Like, this, we don't win here. Why would you go take a job to then have everyone get fired? If anything, I think Engstrand should look to get a proven quarterback coach, a proven guy who's been in the room to develop a young guy. And I think that's the thing that we need. I don't think Tanner's going anywhere. I think that you can look at this logically and say the quarterback play was so bad, but all the breakdowns on film that Blewett and others have done show that there's guys open in the scheme at times. The quarterback play has been piss poor. Also, I did want to bring up something with Lazard. Remember that pop-up catch against Atlanta?
Yeah.
We scored on that drive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Alan Lazard, that's your Rams punt play right there. We would be number 1 right now in Tankathon if we didn't beat the Falcons. So
Wouldn't they be
Alan
2?
Lazard's
Someone said they'd be
last
2.
play. Well, both us and the Giants have a 536 winning percentage. It would be a coin toss. So we would be tied for first right now in Tankathon. So Alan Lazard basically caught a pass finally, and it could cost us the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah. It's I don't know.
Way to go, buddy. Great job. Go kick your soccer ball. Enjoy the World Cup next year.
Again, the fact that Lazard outlasted Sauce and Quinnen on the Jets is astonishing. If you take a big picture view on how we felt about Lazard for years and versus Sauce and Quinnen, unreal. Kevin in the raffle for 5. Shout out to Kevin, who's doing a great job with a lot of our social clips you guys see on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts. Worst part of that Charles call was him eating Sabaros voluntarily. Glenn is safe, but would move on from him for Big Mike McCarthy in a heartbeat. Put me in the raffle. You're in the raffle for 5, Kevin. Good luck. Charles voluntarily eating Sabaros when he's in a great pizza state.
I was at that mall last year, and I sent a picture to you of me in front of that exact Sbarro.
You got to get that authentic New York slice.
No, I didn't enter it. I just took the picture from the mall, the lobby or whatever you want to call it, the hallway.
I responded to Neil already in the chat, but for everyone else, Jake, you forgot another rookie head coach. Mike McDonald, 11 wins in his first year. Hello, coach of the year candidate. He's in his second year, Neil. That's why I didn't mention him. He's done a great job, but he's in his second year. Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. Ladies and gentlemen, we mentioned this man a couple times. We all saw the video of the incident from the post-game show on Sunday. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time.
Hey, Charles! You'll never get my chicken soup recipe. Hey, Charles! I'm not saying that Glowski takes steroids. I need some of it. Hey, Charles! Who is that lovely lady? Send it this way, Charles!
Fuck the Colts.
Whoa!
Whoa, what are you doing?
And he's gone. Wow. Charles.
On behalf of the Jake Asman Show, we apologize for the foul language.
Unacceptable.
You kiss your mother with that filthy mouth of yours? I almost respect it, though. Apologies to those who have been playing at work. Or
we need them to lose.
I think he's trying to get on the good graces of this community. I like the approach. I see what he's doing.
The Colts going 8-9 gets him back in our good graces. That pick getting up to 15, his job would be done. We will welcome him back with open arms. This is ridiculous.
Chat seems to like it. Short and sweet Gorman approach.
They're short-sighted thinkers. They're not thinking big picture here.
Interesting. Charles, I need you to be a Patriots fan next.
Charles back. Right now, we need losses in Indianapolis.
The second Gorman became a Colts fan, they imploded. I need Charles to start rooting for the Patriots.
Now, wait, I have a question. Was that Charles as a deflowered man? Does he change his whole mindset? Has it happened?
Ladies and gentlemen, did Charles make sweet love?
Calm your freaky down.
Charles, call back and let us know. A super chat here, an Asmaniac super chat from M123, who's been a longtime viewer of the show. Why does the NFL hate us and give us an impossible schedule for 2026? We will win 2 games. Never freak out about the schedule because we do this every year. It's all about when you play teams that we think are good end up not being good. So you just never know. I don't want to even say, the schedule, it's going to be so hard. Like, the Jets play the Chiefs next year. That game is in the first month. Mahomes might not be their quarterback. So you never know, for example, how things will shake out. But again, you look at New England's schedule this year, the year they come in last place, and it's a cupcake schedule. And the Jets, at least on paper, it does look challenging, but I'm not going to freak out about a schedule, a year from now. We got to see how the Jets look going into the year before we can even consider anything.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it now. We got our division games, and then we have Denver here, Raiders here, Packers, Vikings, AFC North. Who's last in the North? Should be the Browns.
It's either going to be the Browns or the Bengals.
And then we go to Kansas City, the Chargers, the Bears, the Lions. And then the NFC West will be Arizona. And then who's last in the South? It's still
Last in the South.
right? It's so close, right?
Yeah. Well, Tennessee's last in the South.
Okay. All right. It's not that bad of a schedule.
There's winnable games there.
Yeah.
Again,
the goal is to be the team that people look at and say, oh, we got to play them. That's the goal. Like, I know that sounds like a crazy talk right now.
They're going to have the Raiders, the Titans, and the Browns on their schedule next year. They'll play the Dolphins twice. Like, again,
and the Cardinals, too.
Yeah, the schedule, it is what it is. Excuse me. I'm still getting over my sickness. If you have a good coach and you have a good team, you'll win games. It doesn't like the schedule can never be an excuse. Like that can't be an excuse if Aaron Glenn wins 5 games next year. Why? Oh, we had a tough schedule. We got to keep him for a third year. No,
that's not that bad of a schedule.
Win games. That's what matters. Georgie says Charles is no longer a chump. Wow. One Georgie over. How about
Rebecca
that?
Says Gorman is becoming a man.
A man's man. Speaking of manly men, no, it's not Beast. It's the Chuck Wagon.
Chuck Wagon's always cooking, which it takes. Chuck Wagon's even cooking at the game. Chuck Wagon hates McDonald's, but he's headed home to cook. It's time once again for Chuck Wagon.
Jake, how you doing?
Chuck Wagon, what are we cooking?
We're making Italian Christmas cookies. These are guans.
Italian Christmas cookies. Wow.
Yep. Dough made fresh today and being fried in hot oil as we speak.
That's outstanding, Chuck Wagon.
Yeah, give me a sec. Go ahead.
Who's your helper here?
Mama Wagon.
Wow, Mama Wagon's on the show too. This is an all-time call.
Yeah. I'm at her house. I'm going to smell like a fryer after this with all the oil, but it's worth it at the end.
Now, did your mom give you all your cooking prowess? Is this where you inherited it from? Is mom?
She tried her best to teach me, but yeah, I pretty much got a good hidden talent probably from her. Yes, being Italian.
All right.
Hold on. Let me.
Well, you keep us posted on your progress, Chuck Wagon. Wow, that looks tremendous.
And here's a bunch of batches already cooked up and fried up.
And what are these called again?
Guans. Guandi. It's Italian, means glove.
Hey, let me bring on my meat guy. Beast, what do you think?
Let me take a look at that. Let me take a look at that, Beast. Let me take a look at that,
Beast. I'm a little busy, Beast.
I understand that. Just take your time. Don't rush it. Don't rush it.
I just don't want.
It's like a risotto. Treat it like a risotto. Don't break it. Go easy.
Risotto takes a lot longer. These fry up fast, and you gotta keep your eye on them.
Understandable, mate. Very nice. Keep up the good work.
Thank you. Cheerio.
And have a very blessed day.
You too.
Always keep up the good work.
Thank you.
I don't think Beast knows he's on.
Good stuff there from Beast and, of course, the great Chuck Wagon. More of your calls right now. Ladies and gentlemen, who should we go to first? The older brother or the little brother? Nick, what do you think? Older brother or little brother?
I forget which one's which.
Older brother it is.
James B's related to Mad Max. He's in his 30s and mellow. Drinking decaf, likes bagels. I'm Jake Asman. If James B looks oddly familiar, he might be starring on Netflix as a serial killer. He hasn't been seen using Adderall.
That still gets me every time. I'm gonna one up them. This is what I have to eat. It took me a while to prepare, but I'm I think you'll approve.
Wow. You made that yourself?
Some say I procured it. Have you been to a Wawa, Jake?
So you just bought it from Wawa. Of
Yeah,
course
I
I've
was
been to a
gonna say,
Wawa.
Well, not everyone's been to a Wawa. Nick, you have too?
Yes. I'm in Central Jersey.
It's
You throw a
like-
football, you get hit 2 of them.
Well, Wawa is like it's like the Disney World of gas stations. I'll tell you what, it is really good. It's really good stuff. But
Hey, did you get some for
Jake,
your brother?
No, I did not.
If Mad
I did
Max
not
ain't
get
got
any
the
for him.
mouth jets, that boy, he's jamming, he's slamming, freaking dancing, wall smashing. I'm Jake Asman. If Mad Max ain't ever stopped yapping, that boy, he still be dancing. Then call Jake Asman. He got an orange wall.
Honestly, James, can you guys hear me? Nick, can you hear me?
Nope.
Let's talk about the Jets. James,
Max,
we got to play.
Yeah.
I think we got to play better against the Saints, And then the defensive backs coach, as a defensive coordinator, he also has to be fired as well. And then Florio's post about Aaron Glenn. Would you be shocked if Aaron Glenn gets fired from Florio's comments? Like, would you be shocked?
Would I be shocked? I still would be shocked because I don't see the Jets making those kinds of decisions so hastily. I mean, we haven't the history of Woody Johnson, right? We have not seen that from him. I was shocked that our defensive coordinator got fired, quite frankly, even though like he's been trash. But what do you think of this, Max? What do you think of this? So Matt Ryan as a bridge, let's bring back. He's only 41. That's like a rookie compared to Phillip Rivers.
I would not do that if as a bridge. I would not do Matt Ryan. He was dead on the Colts in 2022, so he was terrible. I would not do it, but I would not be shocked if Glenn. I mean, would it be shocking a little bit? But I would not be shocked. Glenn has been not a good coach, honestly. He's such a good flip flopper. I remember in April, he was like Quentin Williams said, "Oh, it's another rebuild." Aaron Glenn's like, "It's like, oh, we're here to win now." And then he flip flops. He's like, "Oh, sinking ships need time to rebuild." It's not the same old Jets. And then we had 3 wins.
Well, and
the Jets were supposed to be good, but we were supposed to be competitive. But we had like blowouts. The last 2 weeks have been horrible. We got blown out to the Jags. We got blown out to a divisional rival. We got blown out to the Cowboys.
Worse and worse.
We got blown out to the Bills. We had 4 blowouts.
Yeah, it's been getting worse and worse. And let me tell you,
and it's always getting better. Yeah, but 2 wins. Yeah, you know why we had 2 wins? Because we beat the Browns, who are terrible. I was actually at that game, James. We beat the Falcons. I was actually at that game. So 2 of the 3 wins the Jets won, I was at the game. So that's just it's crazy. That's actually a crazy stat. 2 out of 3 wins, I was at the game. I was at the Jets game for 2 of our wins. The Falcons game I was at, and I was at the Browns game.
Slow down. This is what our parents are always talking about. You're talking too much. You're talking over your big brother. Now, let me just mention one thing. I would be surprised, I think, only because if they didn't fire him after that Broncos game, do you remember that Broncos game, how mismanaged that was?
It was so mismanaged. It was horrible.
Horrific. It was horrific. It was an embarrassment. And that's why it's like, well, if you didn't fire him after that, like what? I don't know. I think he's going to obviously ride out this year. Mark my words. I think he will ride out the year. I actually think they bring him back next year, quite frankly. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, would I be upset if they fired him? No, because what would I be missing? I guess the question. What would I be missing from firing him?
If Mike Tomlin or John Harbaugh is on the coaching market, I would fire Aaron Glenn and hire John Harbaugh. He's a proven head coach, and also there's been reports that John Harbaugh is probably going to get fired, or Mike Tomlin. I remember a couple weeks ago when the Steelers played the Bills, there were Steelers fans like fire Tomlin. I mean, if Mike Tomlin was fired, I would hire him in 2 seconds. I would fire Glenn and be like, "I'm sorry, this experiment won't work. We hire Mike Tomlin, and he'll turn this franchise around." That's just my thoughts on it.
Agree. I think if somebody with structure and a proven track record, if they became available, yes, I think we should get rid of Glenn just because like we have to at this point. But
I would not fire Glenn if we're going to hire another first-time head coach. I don't think we're going to fire Glenn if it's if Tomlin or Harbaugh's getting fired. But
what do you guys' opinion on me doing a backflip through this orange wall?
Great to have the brothers on the screen together. You can really see the relation there. I mean, they are twins.
I thought you were asking about the Midnight Brothers, and I was trying to remember which one's older. That's why I was like frozen for a second. I couldn't remember. I know their birthdays, but I couldn't remember which one is older.
That was remarkable. I mean, two brothers talking Jets football. Nothing like it.
Good stuff.
Bob says, how stupid it is to say fire your coach. He just started getting rid of the Salah softies. See, if that was true, I'd say, yeah, he's got to clean up the mess. He chose to keep the, quote, Salah softies. Bob, hey, Bob, why is Tony Adams a Jet? Or Isaiah Oliver? Or Michael Clemens? Why did they sign Sauce and then trade him, right? Why they paid Jamie and Sherwood. That's a Salah softie. They didn't trade Quincy at the deadline. Again, it's easy to say Glenn's got to get his guys. He completely misevaluated the roster. He thought so little of Robert Saleh's coaching staff that he came in and he thought that they were going to be able to win games, right? He thought they had way more talent than they actually did. And then he completely moved the goalpost when they started 0-7. And he's given us the bullshit about instant coffee and ships take a while to turn. Stop it. He's done a bad job. I'm not saying he should be fired, and I don't think Woody Johnson's going to fire him. But I'm with every Jet fan who's skeptical about this head coach because he's done a horrendous job in year one. Not saying he can't turn it around, but he doesn't do anything well as a head coach in year one. And I'm not seeing any improvement besides our special teams from last year's disgraceful 5-win team. And he's going to be the third coach ever to win to lose 14 games or more. That's crazy.
Oh, I was waiting for you to play in the whole video. I thought you were going to click to that.
No, I just
I'm waiting for the Allen video to kick in or something.
Oh, JR in the raffle for 2. Thank you, JR. The hope I have in the Jets turning it around comes from watching the Knicks' current success. We heard all the same. Fire the owner. Stars come to New York to die. If they could do it, the Jets can. I agree. I've used the Knicks as the example for years. No one's chanting sell the team at James Dolan as the Knicks are fake champions last night, baby. Let's go.
Gold
Hell
medal,
yeah.
too. Huh? Gold
Yeah.
medal. NBA
I know
December.
I know they're going to raise a banner. I don't think they should, but people made a good point. They have a banner for Billy Joel and Fish and Harry Styles. So, all right, but I don't know. I mean, it matters. Like, it's good to see them play well in like that type of competition. But I didn't wake up today feeling great and like, oh, I'm a champion. I finally saw the Knicks win something. You know, like I'm a diehard fan. It is what it is.
You do not hang a banner over an insignificant event.
I wouldn't, but
Billy Joel going out the Garden as many times as he has, that's big.
Yeah, I mean, I would trade 1 million NBA cups for one playoff win. So, like, it means nothing to me. Matt L says,
NBA, this is a lull in sports right here, right? Like college football ended. So the NBA is trying to get a little bit more of attention on their league because the ratings have not been very good the last couple of years.
Charles is what is his word? Liberus of the Asmaniacs? Is that what it means? Can he sing the Impossible Dream? I've already won a Klecko helmet. If I win today, I'd like to donate it to a young Asmaniac. Matt L, what a gentleman.
I got a tweet that just came in. Shout out to Jaden D'Angelo. Shams says the Knicks will not raise an NBA banner. Sources tell ESPN the Lakers and Bucks raised banners for NBA Cups over the last 2 years. Knicks will celebrate with home fans on Friday. That's it. So that's coming from Shams.
Oh, hell yeah. Good job by Dolan. Hell yeah.
Good job, Jaden D'Angelo. Thank you, buddy.
Good job by Dolan. I'm tweeting this. Yeah, you can't raise a banner. It's kind of funny because Mike Brown was like, we're going to raise the banner of the Garden. Like, no, you're not. Come on.
It's like having the best record in spring training in baseball. Stop. You don't.
It's bigger than that. It's bigger than that. I mean, they played great against the Magic, a team they might see in the conference finals. The Spurs are really good. It would have been nice if they got a chance to match up with the Thunder, who are the best team in the league by far. See what that looks like. Like it's good they played well. I'm happy, but like they should not raise a banner for it. That's a good job by Dolan. David with a super chat here. He's in the raffle for 2. Jake and Nick with the 2026 UFA quarterback crop having very few decent options. How high of a draft pick are you comfortable with the Jets trading for a bridge QB? Nothing higher than a 4th or a 5th. They don't even have a 3rd, so I'm not trading any of my 2s and certainly not any of my 1s.
I'm okay with Taylor being a backup to be a mentor. I would settle for Mariota, You know, he's a guy. If you're bringing in a bridge or you're bringing in a backup, right? Because I'm all in on Mendoza. I think Mendoza is your jet quarterback in 26. But you want to have a guy who's spot started. You want to have a guy who knows his role in the league, like a Brissett, a Taylor, a Mariota. You want to have a guy who's been in multiple locker rooms, know how NFL locker rooms work, knows what it takes to be a pro, knows what it takes to get ready for the season and from week to week, and how to deal with media. Like, that's what you're looking for. You're not looking for a guy to come in and turn into a Rich Gannon at this point. You're going all in for the quarterback, in my opinion. So you don't bring in a guy that's going to want. Mac Jones is going to think he deserves to start. Mac Jones to me is a Carson Wentz. He's got talent, but he's an asshole. I don't want an asshole being anywhere near mentoring our young
Mariota, Tyrod, or Mariota, Minshew, and then Mendoza or more, someone like that. I want
guys who know their role and are content signing the backup money and staying there. But I'm not trading for one of those guys. You can get those guys every year.
David D, we already read that one. So Jake says, Jake, you keep saying Brees wants 1,000 yards, but it's not what it used to be. It's 59 yards per game, nothing to write home about. Yeah, but it still matters to a running back. But when you still look at a running back's career, you say, oh, how many 1,000-yard seasons did he have? And Brees is 100 yards away with 3 games to go. I think they're going to let him play until he gets that number.
He's had 5 games less than 40 yards, though, I think, this year.
Yeah.
So it's not a given, guys. It's not a given, especially with no quarterback.
That's why he hasn't had the success. Yeah. I mean, like, there's some games where it's like they immediately are down a huge hole. Like, there goes the running game. And like, or even if it's like somewhat close, they stack the box and it's like, well, we're not going to let Brees beat us. He's your only true game changer right now.
I'll give you a Jet prediction, and it's a sad one. They will try to get him the 1,000. We had the solid math problem in New England that year where they gave him 40 carries in the snow and he still fell short. They will go for this one, and he ends up like 997. They will be trying to get it for him, and then the Bills will be trying to stop it because that game will mean something maybe for the Bills in terms of positioning. So it's not a given that they're going to sit people. I think he goes for it and they fall short, and that'll be more embarrassing. That they
100 yards over 3 games.
Look, I looked at his game log on Monday night. I did a show. I looked at his game log. He's got multiple games less than 30 yards.
I still think he gets it. That'd be really crazy if he doesn't end up with 1,000. That'd be nuts.
Very Jet-like, Jake.
It is. I think they'll get it for Brees. More calls. Hey, Pork.
Hey guys, what's up? How you doing?
How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I mean, Aaron Glenn probably ain't feeling too good. I mean, I wouldn't if I was him. He sucks. He's a terrible coach. Look, I got all these reasons why he sucks. Bad decision making, time management. He doesn't know the rules. Players are never prepared. Nobody knows how to tackle. His 4th down calls are blistering. Like, why does he do them? There's no rhyme or reason for them. He'll do them in the first quarter. He'll do them in the first drive of the second half and just completely put us out of the game right from the beginning. He can't evaluate talent. We know that. Arian Smith, he shouldn't even be on the field. He's not an NFL player. I gave Aaron Glenn the benefit of the doubt because he was my favorite player when I was growing up. I hate him with everything in my heart now. Trust me. That's how bad I see him. He looks clueless on the sidelines to me. The team doesn't play together. They don't trust each other, and they don't trust the coaches. That's why they're trying to make too many plays. That's why you make too many moves and fumble the ball. Because you're trying to get, win 5 games in one play. And we know that doesn't work. And, I know how that feels as a player, as a person, like trying to do too much, trying to cover for everybody, and you just burn yourself out. And it ruins you as a player, as a man, as a worker. That's it.
Pork. I get it.
I mean, that's hot.
I get it. Again, like, there's not much I could tell you he's done great. I mean, the penalties are down, but that's not enough. Again, like some of the teams that have success in the league have committed a lot of penalties. Like, it doesn't equate to winning. The special teams is not enough. I mean, the Fields debacle, the contract, what they said about him is a major red flag as they're about to draft a QB. The who are going to coach guys up, including like even like the other like chronic examples. Yeah, no one's gotten better. The special teams is great. That's Banjo. He gets credit for that. You can give him credit for some of the draft picks, right? Like because him and Muji are involved in that. But like, it's not enough, man. Like again, if Aaron Glenn got fired, is he getting another job from anyone? No. Like he is. Like there's no one's going to be like, we need to hire Aaron Glenn. Like the Niners couldn't wait to hire Robert Saleh, for example, because he's an excellent defensive coach. I don't know if Aaron Glenn would be a lock to get a DC job if he got fired again.
This is the lowest point this franchise has been in probably 10 years. And that's saying a lot because we had Adam Gase.
Yeah, we had Kotite too. It's bad, man. Yeah. Do I think he can get better? Yes. I think even in this season, he's a better coach now than he was the first 7 when that was the worst I've ever seen. He was worse than Gase. He was worse than Ulbrich.
It's going to get worse. Rich Kotite was 3-13 in his first year, wasn't he?
Yeah. Look, it can get better if they spend the money wisely, they get a quarterback that's competent. Like it can. There's a path to it, but like I understand why I feel similar to you. Like I don't think he's done a good job this year. I don't. If he didn't play for the Jets 30 years ago, I think most fans would want him to be one and done.
Yeah, just looking at him, looking at the work he's done, just looking at the guys play. I mean, it does. Like I wouldn't want to play for this guy. I don't care what he's done in the past or what he could say. I just see how he reacts in the games, and I don't know how he is in the locker room, but he doesn't. I thought he was a leader of men, but once you start moving the goalposts and saying you didn't say something or changing the words, meanings.
Oh, I never told you when we were gonna be a team you're proud of.
Yeah, that's a bad politician. That's what bad politicians do when they're lying and shit. Yeah.
Is there a good politician?
Huh?
Nothing.
Well, no, that's whatever. But I mean,
I hear you.
It's just like a lawyer up there, trying to cover his tracks like a criminal lying. It's not going to work. You know what I mean? Unless Bo Jackson comes in here next year, or Peyton Manning, or Dan Marino, or somebody just light it up. He don't deserve that. He doesn't deserve the next game, in my opinion. What's that?
You think they could light it up at their age?
I mean. Well, I'm saying it.
I got you for it.
Yeah, maybe they could. I don't know.
I'm trying to make you laugh. I'm trying to loosen you up a little bit.
Oh, I am loosened up. I'm just, I'm really not that mad. I'm just, these are the, I'm just pinpointing what's obvious to me. And it's pretty obvious to everybody else. I mean, look at that defense. I mean, guys don't tackle. Look at that Trevor Lawrence touchdown. That was disgusting. That would have made me vomit and attack somebody on the sidelines. Like, you wouldn't want to come back to the sidelines and face me as a coach.
Could you describe that play? Because some Jets fans were just scoreboard watching on Bleacher Report as they were at the mall. Can you visualize what happened on that play for those who just saw that it was a touchdown?
It seems like all the receivers went to the right, and, we had some pressure. And it broke down, and then Lawrence scrambled out to the left, and basically he could have fucking moonwalked into the end zone. That's how slow our players were moving. I mean, yeah, it's disgusting. But move the goalposts, say different things up on the podium. We all see through it, and if you're not, you're just lying to yourself.
I was pork watching the Jets for a lot of this year, so I get it. Again, he has moved the goalpost a lot when he's like, expectations for the year, a team Jet fans are proud of, and then they followed that up when they were 0-7 or whatever the record was at the time, and he's like, I never said when. And they're not getting better now, right? We could they won 3 of 5, they're 3-2 over their last 5. It's like, really, they beat 3 backup quarterbacks this year. And their special teams needed to score 2 touchdowns to win against the Browns. Like, that's not sustainable. So it's their 3 wins are against Dylan Gabriel, Joe Flacco, and Kirk Cousins. Come on. It's been a bad year. Bad year.
It's horrible. Speaking of horrible, is everyone past this re-sign Quincy Williams? Because I know a lot of people wanted to. Sunday's performance was all-time dog shit.
He doesn't fit. He's not coming back.
Gave up 4 touchdowns, gave up a perfect passer rating when targeted, gave up over 100 yards when he was the nearest receiver, nearest cover guy. Done. There's no reason to bring him back. My dream first round is Mendoza and then Styles. That we make the trade up without trading up the Colt pick. And then you get your captain of your offense and your captain of your defense for years to come. That would be the perfect scenario for the Jets.
Jay Perez in the raffle for 2. Home stretch here. We're going to get to your calls. Again, for those tuning in late, sick raffle prize today. Signed Joe Klecko helmet across both shows. It's up for grabs. Hey, now, Jay says, I think the Jets are back into the toilet spin. SOS, same old shit. I get it. Speaking of shit.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're shit.
That's what it's become, unfortunately. More of your calls. The great Mike Perez is on the line. Hello, Mike.
Jake, you got me?
What's up, Mike?
Jake, how's it going, Nick? What's going on, fellas?
How are you, man? Pleasure to meet you.
Jake, listen, you got some cojones, man. To talk about what you talk about in your show about these Jets this year, and then to face Tannenbaum on Sundays.
Oh, yeah.
I salute to you, my friend.
Did you see the clip a couple weeks ago of us screaming at each other about Glenn?
Listen, you've been frying him since you guys started this year. It's like constant just grilling him week by week, and he has nothing to say.
Yeah, well, that's for all the people who are like, "Oh, do you say this stuff to Tannenbaum?" Hell yeah, I do. You think I'm going to back down? I'm not afraid of anything I say with my sports opinions.
Listen, I commend you because I don't think he actually likes doing that on Sundays with you at this point.
I hope he doesn't. I hope he doesn't, because I got to be honest. And if he's not going to be honest, then we can't do a talk show together. I respect Mike. He was an incredibly successful football executive.
Right.
But I got to be honest. I can't fake my opinions, or I can't be disingenuous and be critical of the head coach on this platform and then not be honest when I'm on ESPN New York. I got to call it how it is. It's not personal. I like Aaron Glenn as a person. I got to be honest. Has he done a good job this year? I think the answer is no. He has not done a good job this year.
Nope. And honestly, I'm glad you touched that point. Listen, the story is amazing. Having an ex-Jet come back and just take us over the hump. I will say this. If Mike Tomlin or John Harbaugh are out of a job this year, Houston, we have a problem. How can you not go for these two guys?
I don't think Tomlin will ever coach again. I think Tomlin will
You
do
think
the
so?
power. Here's why. I think that you've had your success. I'm a big believer that the Steelers organization is the main reason for their success because it's gone through coaches, it's gone through decades. The stability of the organization is the most important factor in Pittsburgh, not the head coach, in my opinion. Now, Cowher went to the studio. Everyone wanted him to come back. But why risk it? You have that great resume. You're highly regarded. Why go risk that with the Jets or the Giants or Tennessee?
Right.
Stay where you're at. When you're done there, go off, have a nice media career, and that's it. Rest on your laurels. There's no reason to go put your coaching name out there and get it wrecked because
you're not wrong. You're not wrong. And I'll say this. Pork is not wrong. Everything Pork just finished saying is true. What can we lean back and say, what has he done for us?
Our special teams is the only real thing, right?
Right,
And
Banjo.
but honestly, and I'm not saying fire Glenn, but like
Correct.
you could fire him and Banjo would be employed. You could keep Banjo. Or you know what I mean? Like how long was Chris Boyer, or was that the guy's name? Boyer, the previous special teams coordinator?
Frank
I think
Boyer.
it was.
Yeah.
Like
Frank Boyer, yeah.
What was his name?
Brent
Boyer, thank you. Yep. Brent Boyer. He was the Jets special teams coordinator for 3 different coaches. He was there with Bowles and Gase and Saleh. So you could retain Banjo. Thank you for Banjo, Aaron Glenn. But again, like there's that's not enough where I'm like, I need to keep this guy at all costs. Again, I don't think Woody's going to fire him, but I would understand it if he did. Did we lose your mic?
You're saying Banjo should be the next head coach?
I'm saying Banjo should be given a raise, give him the assistant head coaching title, and keep him. All right, Brent Boyer. I mean, he was the Jet SC for a long time. All right, more calls. Dirty in the truck is next. Hey, Dirty.
Jake, Nick.
Dirty.
How are we? Well, I'll say this. The Jets, obviously, nobody liked watching it this year, and I get it. You know what I mean? We haven't been having a good time watching it for years, but we're still fans of it. And I don't think that he's got to worry about his job because Woody takes a long time to pull that trigger to fire people unless it was it is as bad as Adam Gase, but Adam Gase was also chasing fairy tales on his first press conference. Okay, like his eyes were everywhere. That dude was so drugged up and whatever it was, but he's gonna lean on the morals that he's quote unquote bringing to the table right now, which are basically nothing, and he's gonna eat on that, and Woody's gonna love it. So I don't think that they get rid of him. Personally, I think Mooj is trying to set up everything to where, I mean, obviously you got Ruckert staying now, and which is to me kind of questionable in my eyes. You're giving him that I think that's too much money for the kind of stuff he hasn't done yet, if we're being real about it. And on top of that, yeah, we kind of filled in a little bit of the wide receiver bits, but it still doesn't have anything to do with the coaching that hasn't been done yet. So if the defense does not take a huge step within the first 3 games next year, then we got a problem, because that's what he was brought here for. He was brought here to have a defensive-minded, lane to stay in. And if that's not showing up at all, he's not going to do anything for the offense. We all know that. So I think if in the first 3 to 5 games the defense does not take any step up, that's when they're going to make a move, and I think that's when they're going to kick him to the curb. But I don't think he gets the axe right now.
Well, I mean, firing him in season next year, it would be dumb though, right? If you're talking about like 0-3, like as you brought up, and they like just fire him now if it's that apparent you don't believe in him. If he's only going to get a couple games, like, don't make the Salah mistake again.
No, I agree with that, but our owner, I'll just say it, our owner is dumb enough to make that mistake. I mean, he's made so many different mistakes. He's very stubborn. He does not like change, and that's why I say that it could happen, because that's what they're going to do. I have a feeling if we took just a few of the people in this chat, they could probably run this team better. So, I really heavily believe that, but it is what it is. I'm going to do my scouting reports on the next 3 QBs coming up and where we're going to be at with the draft picks. And
who's your guy, Dirty? Who's your early guy? You a Mendoza fan?
I'm a Mendoza fan, but I also want somebody that's going to be able to – I don't want a hero guy. I want a guy that's going to be able to come in, run the system that's given to him. And I do like Mendoza, but I also want to see what Moore has. I got to go into the film a little bit more, and I want to be very selective about what I put on these scouting reports. I really do. I don't want to jump on the Mendoza bandwagon because everybody else is on it. We have our business here that we do that, and we write out scouting reports for a reason, to make sure that this guy's ahead of this guy because of X, Y, and Z, because of upper mobility, lower mobility, all these different things. So I'm going to do my due diligence, Jake. I promise you that.
You sound like a real GM, ladies and gentlemen. Dirty.
It's up to you, New York, New York.
What can I say? I'm a clown-sucking douchebag.
Why are you back on the show?
I don't know. I felt like coming back.
You called in, you had your mic drop moment, and now you called in again? What's happening?
Maybe to let out some gas.
I see.
Charles, can you tell everyone what you had for dinner last night and how you prepared it? Sorry to ask the difficult questions.
I just came by to say
No?
that too. I also came by to say that I don't think Aaron Glenn will be fired, but we'll see. We shall see. I wanted Mike McCarthy originally, but it is what it is.
What did you have for dinner last night?
Spicy meatballs.
That's not what you had for dinner. What did you have for dinner last night?
You clown-sucking douchebag.
Yeah, that's what you can see from the headline. I'm a clown-sucking douchebag, apparently.
You clown-sucking douchebag.
What did you have for dinner last night?
Why do I have to tell everyone what I had for dinner last night, Nick Shine?
If you don't answer us, you'll answer this man.
Fine. I had a friggin' chicken pot pie that I put in the microwave. Why do I have to answer the Beast Breaker?
It's Beast now. And that's Godfather Beast. Pimping ain't easy. I don't know. Lately, your mouth lately's been a little bit filthy lately. We have to go get some of that stuff from Christmas Story. That lover
Yes,
boy.
please. I know what the damn thing is. What do you want from
Yes,
me? You want me to die? You want me to drop dead? You want me to freaking jump off a cliff and eat
improve
shit?
yourself a lot better, player. Improve yourself. You got to improve a hell of a lot more. You got to work your way up that ladder. Work up the ladder of success. I think I got to the top. I did everything on my own, all on my own, with nobody's help. You got to figure it out for yourself. And for the future, you gotta move around a little more often. I mean, come on, my body's taking a beating. I don't think yours hasn't. You haven't learned
I've got
anything
my ass
yet.
kicked before. I've got my ass kicked before. Hurt
Well,
like big.
you haven't surpassed my world yet, son. You haven't surpassed that yet. I've surpassed
I
two
don't want
different
to surpass
worlds.
any world, to be honest with you.
There's 7 gates, and then there's the 8 circles. You're not there yet. You're not fully there. Got a long way to go. You got to really keep working for it. And, you got to look at you, and don't worry about next year. Just be yourself, Cabron. Now go enjoy the day. Go outside, smell the air once in a while, and then
I
don't
was
worry
actually going to go out to the bank, take out some cash so I can do some laundry.
Good. No, thank you. Pimpin' ain't easy. Pimpin' ain't easy. Woo! You know time.
Man, I've seen a lot of things. What the heck is Beast wearing there?
I got him a dashiki. For those of you who watched the WWF back in the day, there was a wrestler, the one-man gang, who was also Akeem the African Dream. Beast, can you stand up and give us the full view here?
Hey, that's so low. It was hard to be on your friends. Yeah,
That was
yeah.
the
Don't
closest thing
ask.
that I could find. It's an African dashiki.
Happy Kwanzaa, Beast.
Say what? Oh, hell no. Oh, you clown sucking douchebag.
Good stuff there. Great outfit. Great job, Nick.
That's $12 I ever spent.
Mike Perez in the raffle for 2. Last chance. You really have 17 memberships. I'm gonna give someone a membership right now. Get someone else in the raffle. Giving away a Klecko signed helmet. You'll have the second show to enter as well. For those of you who are tuned in late and didn't realize that. Here we go. Mike says, sorry the call dropped. We're down and out right now. Let's get our franchise QB and let's build from there, or else the noise only gets louder. Obviously, the big thing is they got to get the quarterback situation figured out. But we've seen this in Jet history. You could have the right quarterback, but if your coach is terrible, the roster's not good enough, it won't matter. See Sam Darnold. So it's twofold. But yes, obviously, if Glenn gets a great quarterback, it will make him look like a better coach, regardless if he's actually a good coach or not. It will raise the floor for the Jets.
Just so you guys know, that's a 3X. That was the largest that it came in. And I saw another comment. I tried to find the matching hat, and I couldn't.
The Human Fund.
I put a lot of time and effort into that.
I see that. Well done, sir. Human Fund in the raffle for
I
one.
hug him every day. I hug him every day.
I gifted a membership. Last chance here. Get in. Klecko raffle. Hey, Chuck Wagon, I see you're still at it cooking, but you have a jet take for us. I want to make sure that you give it to us.
Well, I thought about AG. I don't think he's going anywhere. I think he's staying for next year. And it was nice to see Ruckert get a 2-year extension. I don't think it's an overpay. I think it's fine. I'm pretty sure it's probably front loaded anyway. So, no, good for him, Long Island kid, to get an extension. So, hey, I'm sure his family's thrilled and I'm happy for him. And here's 3 layers of all the guandos that have been cooked so far.
Now, do you put anything on those? Is there confectionery?
Confectionery sugar at the very end.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll put some nice white powder on it, and it's going to look really nice. And actually, they're really good.
I feel that you use the I have a jet take just to update us on the food. Because you went back to the food voluntarily.
Yeah, maybe. They're good. What can I say?
Yeah, good work.
You look great, Chuck Wagon. Keep doing you, all right?
Hey, what's up?
That's what's up. Chuck Wagon cooking up a masterpiece. All right, ladies and gentlemen, today's closer is this man.
Adam is cool, although kind of basic. He claims he's too cool, though often quite basic. He makes great jet points, looks a little basic. Adam is cool, too cool, but basic. Some would say generic.
Hey guys, how's it going?
What's up, Adam?
Oh man, so it's been a while since I called in. A lot of very interesting things going on lately.
You clown sucking douchebag.
A lot of crazy things going on.
Thank you, and of course. So, Beast, Merry Christmas, dude. Looking forward to seeing you in your festive gear, man.
He's not wearing it now, Adam. You're not paying attention.
Wrong holiday. You just said that. So, at any rate, I think that we got to be really careful about Banjo because, we're historically amazing in special teams. 99 out of 100.
Not last year.
What's that?
Not last year.
Yeah, but no, this year's a historically good. I don't know if you've seen the stats on DVOA and all of that. This is historically top 5 all time since they've been tracking it. We were not getting this again next year. So
if we had that punt return for the touchdown, we probably would have bumped up to number 1 all time.
I know, it's amazing.
We were 0.3 behind. I think we're 3rd all time going into last week. I don't know how last week affected us. I haven't seen the update.
It's insane to think that special teams actually legit makes more they have more playmakers in special teams. Even though the special teams is made up of folks that play offensive defense, yet for whatever reason in those plays they show up, and I just think it's very interesting. So, but I don't think we can expect the same success next year. So we're gonna have to work against that next year. So that's just one thing. But props to Banjo.
Adam, why are you being negative? What if it's just the beginning?
That'd be one heck of a historic circumstance, but that's good. Interestingly enough, right, the Colts pick. I was actually curious if Jeremiah Love was there and we just were look, let's move on from Brees. Would you do that? Would you pick Love instead of paying for Brees?
No, I don't want to use a premium pick on a running back. I'd rather just retain Brees, to have Allen coming back, Isaiah Davis, and use that pick, assuming they have it and don't trade it, on a player that could fill a different hole. Like Brees, I think Love will be a better running back, but I don't think it's worth it.
I think a running back is the final piece to the puzzle. It's not someone you draft because the running back starts to depreciate the minute you pick them. I would wait, and then if you have your defense set and then you need that run game, then you go get a guy. But you've seen too many teams. The Giants took Saquon number 2, never won. Leonard Fournette went in the top 7 to the Jaguars, never won there. He didn't win till he got to Tampa. McCaffrey with the Panthers, Elliott with the Cowboys. All these running backs that go high never really win because you're not taking a blue chip player.
And they're expensive too. Common Country with a good point. If you draft Jeremiah Love with the Colts pick, he's automatically one of the higher paid running backs in the league because running backs don't get paid a ton of money.
Good point, but he is a big playmaker. And I know Brees can be, but we just haven't. We can't be talking out both sides of our mouth. We can't say we have a great O-line and then all of a sudden we keep making excuses for Brees.
Well, I think part of it, though, is the game scripts, right? They've been getting blown out these last 2 weeks. When was the opportunity to run the football?
Fair enough. That's fine. I can understand that point. And then I wanted to make an offer that I'll donate 5 memberships when we get our first interception on Sunday, because we're going to get it. It's going to happen. The first game without Wilkes, we'll get the interception.
It could happen this week. I'll see what the odds are on FanDuel for Shuck to throw a pick, but that would be very funny if the first pass play.
I was going to say I'll do. How about this? I'll raise you one, right? I'll do 5. I'll donate 5 memberships if they get the interception in the game. I'll do 10 if it's in the first quarter.
I love it. That'd be hilarious.
Let me throw a caveat in there. How about you give 5 for every turnover we get?
Ooh, money bags over here, spending Adam's money.
That's tricky. All right,
we've had 0 all year, Adam. It's the same thing.
Yeah, but you know what? Aaron Glenn, who had he made turnovers.
Get your ass off my super chats. Some of these are gifted memberships too. Now, give me money, or I shoot him. and I shoot all you motherfuckers, and then we take it. Your choice, bitches.
Money bags, Adam is too cool.
Nick, how about this, Nick? After the first, we each give 5.
And then I'll give 5 on the Nick Shine channel.
Does that sound good? Okay, so we'll eat. So 5 for the first one that we do. If it's 10, if it's in the first quarter. If there's more than one after the first, Nick and I will each do 5.
Right.
Let it rain turnovers, of course, and totally get us out of the Mendoza sweepstakes altogether.
They better lose this game. Better.
I mean, this is the thing too. I actually I'm like on the fence because like I was coming in with this point and then I was like thinking I don't know how I feel about it anymore. But let me let y'all weigh in on it, right? If there's no chance we're getting Mendoza, then is there any impetus to keeping Glenn? Like the season's shot if we don't get Mendoza. I feel like it's already all the eggs are in this basket of a player that we may not be able to get.
Well, we have to see how the pre-draft process plays out because while it feels like Mendoza is clearly the number 1 QB, things change, man. Like Baker Mayfield was never going to go number 1. It was all Sam Darnold. Remember the suck for Sam year? They weren't going to be able to get him. And then sure enough, they do. Like you never know. And we might end up liking Dante more better than Mendoza anyway. Who knows? So I don't think like, oh, they win a game and now they're out of the Mendoza sweepstakes. So now they're going to fire Glenn because of that. I don't think one has anything to do with the other.
I just think I guess in the end, it's more about the price. Like, even if for some reason they felt that Mendoza wouldn't, like the Raiders didn't think Mendoza was the right fit for the culture of the Raiders. I mean, talk about a difference between the brand and the player. I mean, you got polar opposites. I don't know how that would play, but I'm sure they'd be happy to have Mendoza. But like, if there's not going to move from the spot, there's no price that you could pay, or any team could pay for that matter. Because there are other teams that will be willing to jump it, teams that we may not think about that may be very curious about it.
The biggest game for the Jets remaining is the Giants versus the Raiders. You need the Raiders to win that game. You want the Giants with the number 1 pick. The Raiders have to win that game. That is the most important game remaining for the Jets this season, in my opinion.
It's a good point. I'm really curious if Muji's going to be disciplined and are they really going to put all the eggs in this basket for 26, or do you wait till 27? Because I will say, as much as I love Mendoza, I mean, Julian Sand is statistically, if he has another year like he did this year, he's going to be right up there with like Joe Burrow, Jaden McDaniels. Like, that's worth waiting for.
Yeah, but Ohio State quarterbacks always put up numbers because they got the best wide receiver core year after year.
There's no guarantee you can get them.
Yeah, I'm a little hesitant to even praise an Ohio State quarterback with what I've seen throughout the years. It's those receivers. It's wide receiver university, right? Like, they have 3 first-rounders on offense every year.
That's fair.
I'm a little hesitant there.
I get it, but statistically speaking, even compared to all the other Ohio State quarterbacks, his passer efficiency this year was off the charts for a true freshman. I mean, talk about a prodigal outcome. Even if you have excellent playmaker, you're still passing the ball, you're still making the decisions.
He's a true freshman, though. You got to wait till 28. He would
be
eligible.
No, sorry, redshirt. He was a redshirt freshman. My bad.
Okay.
Redshirt.
He could come out after next year. Yeah,
he'd come out after next year, which I think he will do if he has another year like this and he gets those starts, experience. But look, I love Mendoza. If we can get him, great. I am so low on the possibility of getting, because I just think the price is going to be exorbitant unless all of a sudden we end up being the first pick that actually needs a QB.
You got to believe, Adam. You got to believe. Believe the Raiders will win a game either against the Giants or against the Chiefs without Mahomes. Believe. Come on. Common Country says, suck for Sam, tank for Trevor. We don't have a phrase for Mendoza. I've seen some people say fail for Mendoza.
It's mayhem for Mendoza because this season has been nothing but mayhem. Shout out to Mikey Mayhem.
Wave the white flag for Dante Moore. I'm just trying to come up with our alternatives. Fail for Fernando.
Baseball news for you, Jake. The Mets sign former Yankee Luke Weaver, 2 years, $22 million.
Okay. I joked on the radio when they signed Devin Williams. Watch them sign Luke Weaver now because they love our sloppy reliever seconds. The Mets loved Clay Holmes, had to have him. Now they had to have Devin Williams, who sucked, and now they have to have Luke Weaver, who I will miss. Wish him well. When you said former Yankee, I'm like, oh, no, they signed Bellinger, but Luke Weaver, farewell. We'll wish you the best.
Yep.
All right, little baseball news there at the end.
I think Bellinger, who's his agent? Is it Boris?
Boris, yep.
They were waiting for his top client to sign before Bellinger moved.
Tucker.
Yeah.
Jay says, draft Mendoza, Cuban sandwiches for all. Where's V-Man at?
Hey, what's up?
You know, he's all about Mendoza.
I laugh every single time you play that clip. Just everything was perfect about it.
Let's see. Someone wrote stay below the Mendoza line. That's funny. Jay Perez. J-Boy, have you read about sperma? What is this?
Spermatozoon?
Jay, I don't know what you're talking about there, but I appreciate your super chat. Bino says, I'm speaking AG fired into existence. I don't think it works that way, Bino, but I can't tell you you're wrong for feeling that way.
Right.
Man, I appreciate everyone who tuned in today. We'll be back this afternoon. We have a lot to certainly dive into. Before we get out of here, though, there's a guy on the line who's made a wardrobe change, and I want to check in with him before we say farewell.
You clown-sucking douchebag. Your package is on the way. It's a nice one.
Now, Beast, why did you change your clothing?
Got a little too itchy. Plus, I'm a little tired. I've been up since 4. I didn't get much sleep yesterday.
Nick, does your outfit that you sent him cause fatigue? Is that why Beast had to change?
It does. A little bit of insomnia, too. That's why I can't sleep lately.
I see.
Yeah, well, it's because, stress, and then I just got my power bill, my gas bill. Oh, that's fun. Yeah.
Well, we know you got a big gas bill.
Nice fart there. Unfortunately, I did not fart yet. I only...
Now, Beast, when Jake plays fart clips, can you hear them and say, oh, that's mine? Yep, that one was me. Do you know which one's yours and which ones are Garmin's?
Correct, Simundo. Mine have an army tank like. Yeah, pretty ugly too.
I got gas right now.
We got a winner there. That's a winner.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're shit.
Hey, man. Chuck Wagon, working hard. Hey, Chuck.
Hey, what's up, Jake?
I just wanted to get you in action here before I wrapped up the show.
Well, thank you very much. I should be done before your second show at 4 o'clock. So, yeah.
Ho, 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 big cho.
It is the holiday season, folks. Hey, super chat from PBM at the buzzer. Bend over for Mendoza. That's the slogan around here. Hey, now, family show.
Calm your freaky down.
That is funny.
Is that Mike?
That's PBM.
Okay. I've seen it in my chat too. I'm like, who the hell's Jiu-Jitsu?
Yeah, change your name, Mike. We got to get people, because I know YouTube is doing the stupid @ handles for people now. It's unbelievable. Anyway, all right, Nick, that does it for me. When's your next show? Tell the people where they can find it.
The Nick Shine Show. I will drop the link in if you would so kindly subscribe. Gonna go on late night tonight. Gonna go on tonight when I get home from work. So if you're a night owl and you're up 11:20 Eastern time, hop on in. We'll have some fun. We'll take a look ahead. We had a good show the other night. Went till 2 o'clock in the morning. A couple people, Ricky, Allen, were in. We were talking about the draft pick potential with rounds 1 and 2, and we threw out a mock or two. So we're starting to look at some of the names that the Jets could target, and it's Jets, man. Here we are.
The pain never ends, but we're all in this together. All in this together. Anyway, he's Nick Shine. My name is Jake Asman. Big thank you to everyone who tuned in to the show. Jeff Parles is the guest this afternoon, so we will talk to you then. I end the message, or end the show with this message. Go Jets. And again, thank you to everyone who still tunes in. It means a lot. Views are down for every Jet podcast, but this community is staying strong. And for that, I'm grateful. Go Jets. We'll talk to you with Jeff Parles at 4 p.m. Eastern today.
You know,
yeah.
I wanted to jump up on you, asshole. She's very attractive.
Yeah.
I wanted to jump up on.
It's becoming a trend.
Oh, hi. Jake wants me to ask you to click on the like button.
That's right, Lane. And if they don't subscribe to the Jake Asman Show, this team may never win another game. Let's go Jets.